Hello, everybody. Welcome to Armchair Expert. We have some exciting news to share with you. We are continuing to expand our live events. We're going to tour even further across the United States, and we're going to be playing, or rather performing, in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Academy of Music on September 22nd.
We're very excited.
We love New York.
I love New York.
And you can get tickets this Thursday, August 16th. They're going to go on sale at 10 a.m. Eastern. This is not a brag. It's a warning. Dallas sold out in an hour, and it was a pretty big theater, which is unbelievably flattering. We're so grateful for that. And Austin also sold out. So I do urge you, if you want to see Monica and I shoot the shit on the stage of the Academy of Music in Brooklyn on September 22nd, please, 10 a.m., get tickets this Thursday, August 16th. And now I want to tell you about our guest today, who is the most talented, the most prolific. I have so much respect for this man's work ethic. It's mind-blowing, and it's crazy lucky of us to get this guest because he's very, very busy, but luckily he's very generous and gracious. He has the funniest laugh you've ever heard. He smokes a bunch of weed. His name's Seth Rogen, and we love him, so please enjoy Seth Rogen.
We get support from Quince.
Have you been wearing the Quince linen shirts?
Yeah, I've been wearing them a suspicious amount. Yeah, European linen ones, they're $34, which is genuinely insane for how nice they are.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, here's the deal. They work directly with the factories, cut out all the middlemen, so you're paying for the actual quality and not some brand's marketing budget. Everything's 50 to 80% less than comparable stuff. I love it because it's all very classic and traditional, and I know I'm going to be able to keep it for a very long time, and the quality's off the charts.
That's true. The style is very consistent. Whatever you get there, you walk down the street, you're going to look good. They have these lightweight cotton sweaters, which I love for when it cools down at night. It's nice drape around your shoulders in the summer and then throw it on when it gets a little cool. And it's not just clothes. They do home stuff, ding, 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 travel stuff, everyday essentials. It's all the same model, quality without the markup.
Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/Dax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dax. This episode is supported by Helix. All right, let's talk about something we both really care deeply about: sleep.
It's the most important thing. I've had my Helix mattress for years now, and I genuinely think it's one of the best investments you can make for your home. Mine still feels just like it did when I first got it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not one of those mattresses that caves in after 6 months. These things are built to last. And, I'm a side sleeper. I ordered a side sleeper, and I get hot, so I have cooling. And I can't tell you how much more comfortable it is to be in there, not sweating and tossing and turning.
Cooling is really important. I've read that you're supposed to sleep a little bit cold.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have cooling. And they have over 20 models. So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You just go take their quiz and they match you to what actually works for your body.
Plus, they've got cooling upgrades, which heading into summer, non-negotiable.
Truly.
Go to helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. That's helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/armchair.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
So David Harbour was here yesterday.
Love David Harbour.
Oh, he told a story about you.
Mentioned you.
He's the bad guy in the Green Hornet.
Yeah, and he was living at your house for a minute, right? Or are you staying at your house?
He was staying at my house for a while.
Yes.
In Malibu? No, where? Somewhere? I don't even remember. Maybe.
He just told a story, and he was very clear to say you're at no fault whatsoever.
Yeah.
But he had been sober for, I want to say, 20 years at that point, and he decided, I'm going to smoke weed like they smoke weed. They're
Yes.
having a great time.
I remember that.
Yeah, so he did that. But at any rate, he's so masculine,
Yeah.
David Harbour, that I insisted he sit in this chair yesterday. So
He's a big masculine man.
he is.
But I brought him to his knees that night.
Emotionally, spiritually, physically.
In every way. I for sure remember that night. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. What did he say?
You said you were playing Cranium.
We were.
Yeah.
I think what it was, yeah, he was dating a girl who Lauren's friends with, and they stayed at our place in the beach for like, I don't even know how, honestly, like we were maybe out of town. Maybe it was a few weeks or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known him a really long time.
He and he's just so masculine. I'm so attracted to masculinity. Are you? That's my first question.
That's a good question.
Well, I was actually trying to think about what you were as a kid today as I was reading about you. And I know that you've been into comedy since day one, but I was wondering, were you not also into like Conan and guys with muscles and
Yeah,
stuff?
and I did karate.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Instigated by the Karate Kid or just...
Probably. But what's funny is, and I actually was thinking about this recently, I think, like, it doesn't add up that I have confidence in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Well, that's one of my forthcoming questions.
But I do. And I think karate from a young age was actually something that gave me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Because I like it. You were in confrontation, physical confrontation all the time. And I did karate with adults largely when I was like a teenager. And they were like men who would like beat us up.
Yeah.
And using the Karate Kid analogy, what I slowly realized is that like we were the bad guys. We were Cobra Kai. And we were the guys who were like banned from all the competitions. And our teacher, I think, could only get a place to a dojo in the Jewish community center in the neighborhood. And he was a Japanese guy.
Oh, he was?
Yes. But he taught at the Jewish community center. And
There's a lot going on there.
there's a lot going on
Oh,
there.
There's
yeah.
a ton to unpack.
But I did karate from a young age, and I think that is. But so I
how
was
many
physical, and I
years?
played rugby in high school also, which is a
Whoa.
very physical.
It might be the most physical sport.
It's a pretty physical sport.
Yeah, I have a personal story about wrestling a rugby player from England when I was 19.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure I was going to manhandle him, and he just made a fool of me. And I've never felt someone so strong, like
Yeah.
the tensile strength, pound for pound.
It was.
unbelievable.
They're tough, and that's why I stopped. I was like always pretty big, and so I played rugby in high school, and our team was really good. Instead of football teams in high school in Vancouver, there's rugby teams. Like that's
Right.
like the big sport. It's funny. I kind of went to like a movie-ish experience of high school, as is exampled by the fact I wrote a movie about my high school
Yeah.
experience. But sports were not at all pop. No one gave a shit about sports at my high
Oh, that's
school.
very weird.
Yeah, like no one cared at all. And there was parties, there was all this. I mean, Superbad again is largely based on what happened. So like all that stuff happened at our high school, except and the only thing that wasn't like the John Hughesy kind of thing was that no one gave a flying fuck about anything that. And our
So how
rugby
did
team
you-
went undefeated 3 seasons in a row, and like no one cared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like,
so
it
how did
wasn't-
people get like supreme social status if they weren't the quarterback of the football team? What were the attributes that were being rewarded with poon and
Yeah, I mean,
keggers?
there was everyone kind of partied together.
Really?
Like,
That's so Canadian in my
and
fantasy
it
of
might
Canada.
Be. And
Yeah.
within the parties, there were for sure different groups that conflicted heavily with one another. But it's kind of like if everyone, there were in every group there was men and women who would hook up with each other. There was every
and women.
in class of boys and girls. Yeah, there was boys and girls. There was every class and category of that. But like that's the one. Like, and my wife is from like Varsity Blues High School, literally, like where the whole town would go out to the football team every weekend.
Yeah, what state?
And like she's from Central Florida.
Oh fuck yes.
Yeah, and her high school football team was like one of the best in the nation for years in a row, and she was like a cheerleader.
Oh
it.
god,
So
she was Lila Garrity.
She literally, it was like she went to Varsity Blues, and to me, that is like there are things we're always talking about high school, and like there are things from my high school experience that to her is just like so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And from my perspective, that experience of high school where like everyone cares about what the sports team is doing is like insane to me. Like that's so weird. Yeah,
I would have loved to have gone in the school you went to and not had that as like the
it was
crowning
great.
achievement.
No, it was way better. I'm very happy that was not the case. Yeah, ours was much more centered around like drugs and like partying and
Good.
things like that. Like it wasn't
Drugs and partying.
partying. Yeah,
Yeah.
people. It was a partying centric school.
Wow.
Yeah.
But so was your high school secular?
Yeah, it was a public high school.
Oh, okay. You went to
A Jewish elementary school. And
It had Torah in the title. So I'm assuming
Talmud Torah. Yeah.
Talmud Torah. But what grade did you then transfer to public school? Like junior high or high school?
We don't have junior high in Vancouver.
Of course not, you
So you
progressive
go.
bastards.
So it's
We go K through 11.
no, exactly. No, it's K through 7, and
Okay.
then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is high school.
Oh, wow.
So when you're in 8th grade, you are going to school with 12th graders.
That's a little
That's
dodgy
weird.
because you could be
It's crazy.
12 and there's 18-year-old men with
100%
muscles and hairy.
that you're going to school with, and that will fucking grow your ass up fast. Like that was something at the time. You were like, holy yeah, there was like guys with like beards and shit, and I was like, I
Absolutely.
have 3 pubic hair, and it was like, oh, there's like this guy looks like my fucking dad. And sometimes you like had classes with these fucking guys. A lot of them lived alone because Vancouver at the time was like a shell for money for Hong Kong and people in China.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of people who went to school whose like parents sent them to Vancouver to go to school.
English dudes from Hong Kong or Chinese dudes from Hong Kong?
Chinese dudes from
Chinese
Hong Kong.
dudes,
Yeah.
okay.
Like and all over China and but a lot from Hong Kong and they would buy houses in Vancouver and send their kids to school in Vancouver and would live alone.
Wow.
And it was
like Beverly Hills 90210.
It kind of was like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was super weird. And the other weird thing that I've learned is strange about my high school is we could leave. We could leave during the day and it was very easy to get like free periods. Because like starting I think almost in like 10 11 12th grade you could have a free period somewhere.
Okay.
And
at your own discretion.
exactly.
Wherever you thought you might
it was
need a
basically
break.
like you didn't you needed less credits to graduate than you did to get into a good college. So if you decided you weren't going to get into a good college, which I did from a very early age,
Yeah.
it afforded you some free periods.
Okay. You were
and-
on the non-college track.
Exactly.
Right.
But because of that, you could leave the campus, like they would let you leave. So there was like a constant flow of kids coming and going from the school, basically.
This sounds more like a rock festival. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
than it does anything else. Like
Well,
people swing through,
At the
get their
time,
drugs.
like it wasn't hard. Like we could all just be like, "Should we leave?" And we'd be like, "Yeah," and then we would just leave. And there was no one stopping you from leaving. And
Wow.
like it was, and these are the things that none of us knew were weird until I've talked to more American people
Yeah.
who grew up in like institutionalized schools.
that we would sneak. We had a strong desire to go out to lunch.
Yeah,
which was
we would do
forbidden.
that all the time.
Not allowed.
That's
Absolutely
insane.
Not allowed to the point that you would get detentions and then eventually expulsion from doing this.
crazy.
So my friend Brian Bowles and I used to. This is not a joke. We'd put our seats down flat, and then we would drive out of the parking lot, just like peeking over the steering wheel in hopes that the security guard that was stationed in the lot
Yeah.
wouldn't see us go to
Security
Pizza
guards,
Hut.
yeah. And we also went to our high school was like in a neighborhood where there was like a 7-Eleven across the street and like a McDonald's down the block and like a Subway across the street and like and there was video stores, which is like I think one of the reasons we got so into movies is there was 2 giant video stores directly across the
In
street from
eyesight.
our high school. Yeah. And like we would go to them every day
And just peruse.
and like just walk around the aisles.
Oh, this sounds
and
like
look at movies
utopia
and shit.
where you went.
It was great
Were there fistfights?
all the time.
Okay, good.
Yeah, tons of
Okay,
them.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, I would hate for you to have been robbed of the
No.
violence that we
There was
experienced
a lot
in my high
of
school.
there was like any high school there was like racial
And who was
tension.
okay? Good.
I
That's
guess
right.
there was
Great,
like
great.
anywhere else there was
Wonderful.
racial tension and just intergroup tension.
Sure, guys sleeping with other guys' girlfriends.
Exactly, all that stuff.
Were there 2 groups that seemed to regularly square off when it was not racially motivated? Like because they're not jocks, like you didn't have the strata of jocks. It sounds like.
No.
Because generally, in my school, the jocks were fighting the burnouts.
Yeah,
You
there
know?
was like not that kind of thing. There was like fancier kids. There was
Okay,
like rich
rich.
kids.
Oh, so
I guess they were the
socias
rich
and-
kids. Yeah, I think there was more of like a rich hierarchy, perhaps. Like,
Yeah.
that I was not, but I was not at all rich. So I guess maybe that's why I wasn't one of the more popular kids in school.
Well,
probably.
were you? What was your like social standing?
Well, no, I mean, I went to a high school on the west side of Vancouver, which is a rich part of town, and I lived on the east side of Vancouver, which was the not rich side of town.
Right.
The high school in my neighborhood was like, I didn't know anyone there. It was known for being a very rough, dangerous high school, and I applied to get into a high school like across town, basically. And so I went to high school like 6 high schools away from where I technically should have been going to high school.
How did that
basically.
impact your like friendship circle? So none of your neighbors, you weren't going to school with any of your neighbors then, right? Unless
No.
they had applied as well.
No, but I lived in a neighborhood that was 100% East Indian people, like from East India.
Oh, really?
And I was the only white person in the entire neighborhood at that time. Really.
Interesting.
And so it was like not, again, there was like, I had some friends through the community center. Like I played on a soccer team through the community center in the neighborhood. But again, it was a lot of like, they were like
Insular.
new immigrants to
Right.
the country, like directly in my neighborhood, basically. Yeah. Which again, it made it just a little harder as a kid to make friends, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
But you did a lot of stuff. As I read about you, you did a lot of like extracurricular. I can never say that word, but curricular
Yeah.
stuff, right? Like as you just said, you were doing martial arts.
I did.
which comes as a great shock to me, and I love it. How many years did you do the karate?
A lot until I would say maybe like 9, maybe from when I was like 8 till I was like 18 or something.
So you're probably good at karate. Is that
I'm like
accurate to say?
physically competent. I would say, yeah. I probably. It was like a very like street fightery type of karate.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? It was like biting and scratching and
Oh,
hair
good.
pulling. Like it was dirty. Again, we were the Cobra Kai guys.
Yeah.
I went to one tournament one time because we were never allowed into tournaments like the Cobra Kai guys.
Right.
And then one time we all went to a tournament together, and I instantly got disqualified for punching a guy in the throat.
Oh,
which I
fantastic.
had no. And again, I had no. It wasn't even on my radar that was not appropriate.
A standard
setting.
strike.
And I remember they were just like, go, and I was just like, ah, and then and
Wait, hold on though. I want to get into that just a tiny bit. Out of fear or out of killer instinct? Can you remember what motivated you to throw?
I just went for it. I was just like,
okay.
it was.
Did you get into
I went for an opening.
So your sensei, he was from Japan.
No, he's not. He was not from. I don't know if he was I don't know if he was first generation.
Okay, but did you get into his personal story, like why he was attracted to this grittier style of martial art? Like, did he have an interesting story?
He did actually. He had been involved in gangs when he was younger. He grew up in Vancouver. He worked as a bouncer for years.
Oh, wow.
He was saying.
Was he a good-sized gentleman?
No, he was what I would call a diminutive gentleman.
Okay, sure.
But he was like so dangerous seeming. It was crazy.
Is he still with us, do you think?
He is.
Oh.
I think my mother, because Vancouver is not the biggest city in the world, but my mother runs into everybody on Earth, and I think someone she knows or she ran into him somewhat recently.
And he's not like killed anybody.
I don't think so, but he would talk about I remember it was things like if you're he would literally tell you things like a kid. Like again, I went to public high school, so I was scared. I was scared, and because there was lots of fights and shit like that. Just kids
Big
would try to
man.
rob you and take your shit, take your disc man, and and I remember I was like, what do I do? And he was like. At lunch, and everyone would go to 7-Eleven at lunch, and that's where everything happened. Every fight happened there.
yeah.
All the drug dealers were there.
Sure.
It was the hub.
Get to second base behind the place.
The second base. Everyone smoked weed behind it in this loading dock. That's it. All revolved around the 7-Eleven. But I was scared to go there at first, and I didn't leave. I remember the first week of school, I was afraid to leave. To my friend Evan, who I went to high school with, who I still work with.
Yeah.
like we would like sit and eat lunch like in the field because we would like be like, is today the day we go to 7-Eleven? I was like, I'm afraid I don't want to go to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
People just get randomly punched in the face and shit, which happened to Evan one time.
Absolutely.
Like one time Evan, more than once I think, someone just walked up and punched him in the face.
That's happened to me.
With no warning in any way, shape, or
I've been
form.
punched by a stranger several times.
Yeah, and then actually, I think one of the guys who punched him found out he was friends with Evan's older brother who went to high school with us and was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize." Yeah, it was a weird scene. But
when you met Evan,
Yeah.
I want to believe that that your relationship with him is this one I have with my best friend Aaron Weekly, which we met in 7th grade, and we met drawing these what we called ball sack cowboys. So we would draw a penis, balls and a penis, and it was a horse, and then there was a cowboy that would ride on the ball sack cowboys, and then there was ball sack,
obviously,
starship pilots, and that was a dick and balls that we turned into like an airplane.
Yeah.
And we just drew these pictures and passed them back and forth. But at any rate, I was just saying this the other day to Monica, because I just saw him. I went home to Michigan. I saw him. There's nobody on planet Earth I feel closer to. There won't be anyone on planet Earth. I feel like something happened meeting him at 12 years old where we virtually became one person somehow. As we were figuring out who we were, we just kind of melded into one person. Do you have that with Evan?
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways. Like, we met at a very young age, and we've spent like a crazy amount of time together for the last like 23 years or something like that. And so, at this point, it's like there's a real shorthand there, I guess.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi high-yield checking and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi checking and savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi checking and savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply.
Confidence. It's listening to your gut. It's moving forward even when the path ahead is unclear. For nearly 160 years, Pacific Life has helped people keep their promises, building confidence for generations. Whether you're confident in your financial future or just beginning to envision it, we're here to help. Ask a financial professional how. Pacific Life, the power of a promise. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska, and in New York, Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
But yeah, we met in bar mitzvah class when we were 12.
And you both already liked comedy, right? You were doing stand-up already at 12 years old?
I was like just starting to do it, and I was like writing it, but I hadn't yet performed it. I didn't perform stand-up for the first time, I think, till after my bar mitzvah. Okay. But I met Evan
Well, you had
before
become
my
a
bar
man,
mitzvah.
right?
Exactly.
It only holds.
But he like wrote short stories, which as like a 12-year-old, you just like don't meet a lot of like 12-year-olds who like, and so that was something we talked about, I remember, and we had a third friend, Fogel, who is represented as the third guy in Superbad, McLovin, who we are also both still good friends with. But yeah, we met in bar mitzvah class, and then what happens the year you go to a bar mitzvah, the year your bar mitzvah is, you go to the bar mitzvah of everyone in your bar mitzvah class.
Okay, and you're 13?
Yeah, you're 12 or 13.
Okay. Just real quick on that. Weird. age to become a man, isn't it? Do we know anything historically about why
Well,
Jewish folks pick that age? It seems very early.
I think in old days, the life
about
expectancy
to
was
die,
like
yeah.
30 at most. So you were
halfway.
like, yeah, when you were 13, you're like, you got to get your fucking shit together, man.
Midlife crisis.
This is it for you. It's every day's a gift from here on out.
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
It's time.
Don't take anything for granted
Okay,
from here on
that's
out.
a good theory. I'm gonna
They have it updated. They should update bar mitzvah age to coincide with new life expectancies.
Yeah, I feel like that would.
that would be a good idea.
Okay, so you're
So
bar mitzvah class.
So you're in bar mitzvah. We meet in bar mitzvah class. It's called Tullus and Tefillin bar mitzvah class. And then you go to the bar mitzvahs every weekend, essentially for a whole year.
Yeah, you're on a
every
party
weekend
circuit.
you're at a party. You're at a bar or bat mitzvah. Mostly, what you're doing that year is like drinking for the first time and smoking weed for the first time and kissing people for the first time and at that time, and that's when me and Evan like really started hanging out with each other. And then he went to the high school that I went to.
Did you like because you already brought it up, but like your confidence, which is always a mystery to anyone who has it right. For me, it's 100% Aaron Weekly. Like I met him and I said, "Oh my God, there's another one of me."
Yeah.
And if I have his approval, I'm fine. That's all I needed. And then I took huge swings because he thought I was funny.
Oh,
and
yes.
that was just enough for me.
We for sure feed each other.
Uh-huh.
Probably not always for the best, but we definitely.
But it can be like a force field, can it? Like when you're young
Yeah.
and insecure, it's like, oh, okay, we're a team.
Oh, for
and it's
sure.
about us.
We were very much like a unit, and we were very codependent. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the dynamic in Superbad really reflects exactly what we were like, basically.
The only advice I have to any human being is like, get a best friend at 12.
Yeah.
And let that person like help your self-esteem. Like,
Yeah, it's true. I think it was. Yeah, it's very helpful, and I think a lot of people. I mean, does not everyone have a best friend when they're 12?
Monica.
I do.
I think most people do.
Yeah.
I think
like
what's
Monica's
different.
best friend wrote the most lovely note to the friends. She was obsessed with Friends, and her best friend wrote the most loving note ever to
The cast
friends.
of friends.
The friends.
Yeah,
the
to all
friends,
the friends.
and actually got like signed photographs of all of them
Wow, that's
mailed
amazing.
to her
Lovely.
in Georgia. And like, yeah, I would imagine that's a
Yeah,
best
special.
friend right there.
Yeah,
That's so
she's
nice.
still my best friend. Yeah.
I think that's what's different is a lot of people, I think, are not friends with the same people they were friends with
Right.
when they were 12 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if they are, it's not like I see Evan I see Evan as much now as I did when we were 12 years old. And like,
Yeah.
there was a few years off there. He went to college and stuff, but like, it's been pretty consistent, you know?
Yeah, and have of the two of you, who's changed the most? Do you think?
I mean, he is about to have his second kid. And whereas I have no children.
It shocks me that you.
So I think
Yeah.
I think just circumstantially much more has changed
Yeah.
For him.
It shocks me that you don't have kids.
Yeah.
Like I have an outside understanding of who you are, but when I see you in real life and stuff, I think, oh, this is a guy who would really like being a dad, or would be,
Yeah.
It just seems like you would want that.
We're open to it.
You're open to it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's an active conversation.
Well, we have a class we run at my house.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to come
Good.
through,
It's something we talk about.
we
It's-
guarantee a pregnancy within 3
That's
months.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
It stresses me. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And
Is that the part that scares you? Or is it do I have something to bestow onto a little person?
that doesn't worry me as much.
Okay, good. Good.
I don't question, like, I honestly think I would be good at it.
Yeah, I think you would,
and I
too.
don't think, like, I have much stupider friends who are good parents.
Yeah.
And so that's not my concern as much.
It's just the workload, right?
It's mostly just a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
Like, me and my wife, like, enjoy very much. It's funny. It's one of those things that became like a passive decision, and now became like is like more just due to age an active decision. Where like we've gone from like people who just haven't had kids to people who like don't have kids, and And it honestly makes it more fun in some ways because we're just like, man, no one we know is doing this shit.
You're punk rock.
Yeah, we could just do whatever we want. Not that we do that much, but even doing nothing, the amount of nothing we do would be marveled at.
I miss that a ton.
Like, we do so much nothing. Like, my wife
You can go to the movies too, right?
My wife did a puzzle for 8 hours straight the other day while just watching Peaky Blinders. Like, if you have kids, that's like psychotic to think about. I've been building like a Lego Ghostbusters thing just for like weeks. And like, if you have kids, like, you can't do that.
No.
I mean, your kid will destroy it. Like, it would get all fucked up. It's just one of the million things you can't do.
You're absolutely right.
But it's gone from just being stuff we do to stuff we actively appreciate. And we do, honestly, we look at each other a lot and we're like, if we had kids, we could not be doing what we're doing right now.
I will just say this, though. I was regularly going out with friends who had kids at a restaurant and going, this seems like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
This is terrible. You can't enjoy 5 seconds of it.
Yeah.
But when it is your own kids, it is drastically different.
And that I totally get.
Yeah, all this stuff that seems on the outside like horrendous work, it isn't. I don't even know why I'm trying to convince you to have kids, other than
a lot of people do.
Well,
because they seem to like their kids. It's like, if there's a movie that is good, you want people to see it. I think it's what people get joy from it, and they want they feel as though I don't have that joy, and I appreciate that. I'm pretty at peace.
You are, aren't you?
I'm not.
You're one of these annoying guys. There's only really 2 of you I think I have in the category. It's like you and Will Ferrell, that it seems like your comedy's coming from a beam of sunshine.
I mean, it's not. It is not at all. But I feel like I'm not I'm not in turmoil over the fact that life is comprised of turmoil. And it's something that I know is the reasoning for like all creative expression probably at the end of the day. And so it's not... it's still hard and it sucks and terrible, sad things happen, and I don't like it, you know. But I've also been very lucky. Like, I've had a very good life, and like I have great parents who are wonderful, who are together and who have a great relationship, and and I've got success at like a pretty young age, relatively speaking, and I think that lends itself, I'm like, I'm a white Jewish dude in Hollywood. A lot of that lends itself again to just like, what do I have to be that upset about? It doesn't seem like
appropriate.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem appropriate.
Endearing.
There's other people who should be more upset about shit.
Yeah, but it also is. It's almost impossible to have perspective when you're young. Like, did you have perspective of like, wow, this is happening to me quite young. This is lucky. You couldn't have felt that way, could you? If you're just like, I'm working hard and now I want this, and then I'm setting my sights on that.
Well, I had been working for years by the time I was on.
You're like the Beatles.
I got like
you had
meaningful
played in Germany.
success, and so like I started doing stand up when I was like 13 and did it very regularly, and then I got cast on Freaks and Geeks when I was
16.
16, yeah. So, but like 3 solid years of stand up comedy. For someone that age, and then
by the way, that's a fourth of your life at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, So by the time, coincidentally, at like kind of a transitional time anyway, like I was in grade 11, so I was about to finish high school anyway, and people were kind of about to move on anyway. And so it felt like, okay, like all my friends are going to college, and I'm going to LA to try to be on this show. But and I felt super fucking lucky. Like, I remember I couldn't fucking believe it. I remember, like, honestly, the closest to that seat, like, I remember, like, doing shrooms with my friends, I remember so vividly it being like right before I was about to move to LA, and like sitting on the couch with my friend, and like the sun was coming up after like all night, and I was just like, I can't believe that I'm fucking moving to LA to be on a TV show.
I love that you were prepping for this big role by doing
a ton of mushrooms. That's how I prep for everything.
Something I would have done for certain.
Exactly. And so I was very appreciative of it. I think I for sure was like frustrated at times, creatively, and was like someone who like had a chip on their shoulder, like a lot of people, but
well, it's rare that someone would have so much passion for something, and then of course not be the victim of that passion occasionally. It's almost impossible, right?
No, for
Like,
sure.
If
And
you care that much about it to have done what you did, how on earth do you not then get in that situation and want it to be exactly what you hoped for?
Exactly. And then Freaks and Geeks got canceled, and then Declared got canceled, and those were two like things that were just discouraging, I guess. But at the same time, I appreciate it. I could just see the thing is, and it's funny about, I guess, what you would call Hollywood, and it was one of the funny things about going right from high school to Hollywood is they're very similar in a lot of ways. Like, there's a real social structure. There's
popular people.
There's popular people. There's people. There's almost every
There's
category of people. Also, there's like the crazy people, the weird people, the people everyone pretends to like but doesn't like. There's every category of person, and it is a lot like high school. And I think it was, so in a weird way, it was an easy transition in that regard.
Right. You were already kind of,
I had the mindset for it already. Yeah. And in general, I was in a better social standing in Hollywood than I was in high school. And so it was pretty good. I was in general, I'm like a working actor generally. Yeah. And the fact that even though I went years unemployed after these TV shows, the fact that I had been on TV shows that like were well regarded and like people liked.
Did you stop at that point doing stand-up?
Yeah, like when I moved to LA, I was like 17, and I would do stand-up comedy sometimes at this place like in Westwood called the Gypsy Cafe and shit like that. And it was one of those things where like big fish in a small pond kind of thing. Yeah. And like there were some things I really felt like I could compete in. Like I felt like as a writer of like screenplays, I was like, okay, like I'm reading what else is out there. Yes. We had written Superbad pretty much at that point. So I was like, I feel like this
can compete.
I can compete in that. Yeah. And as an actor, I was getting better, I felt like, and people, again, like I knew like, oh, I think if I get a hold of this, I can be funny. Yeah. But I would do stand-up comedy, and I would perform, like, at this time, it was like Zach Galifianakis and Sarah Silverman and like Tompkins, David Cross and Paul F. Tompkins. And all these guys were like the regulars at these places. Yeah. And then I would go up and I would just be like, I should not be doing this. Yeah, like they're just like, I'm not like that at this.
Yeah, they're
like,
savants at that.
Yeah,
thing.
they're like, that's not my thing. Like, I'm okay at it, but I'm not like them at this. And so I just shouldn't do this. Right. Like I was like, no, I don't have to do everything. I was just like, I'm okay at this. It doesn't mean I was enjoying doing these other things. And that was also something I realized where it's like the fact that I don't, if I wasn't doing it, I wasn't feeling this like deep internal agony or like unrequited expression that I was not getting find out. Your voice exactly. Instead, like I was just like, no, I kind of am just doing it less, and I didn't feel that bad about it.
After Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared, you at that point were like, oh, I can just be a writer. Yeah, you were as focused on being a writer. Is that true or not?
Yeah, for sure. But at the time, my plan, I was going to try to use my writing to facilitate my acting. Yeah. Like I was supposed to be the star of Superbad, and that was like my master plan at the time, if I had one, was we would make Superbad.
Like Stallone.
Yeah, exactly. I would Stallone it. We would make Superbad, and I would be the star of it. Yeah. And a lot of comedians though were like getting like sitcoms and stuff, and I was just like, I don't like that. I like movies, so maybe I can use my comedian thing to get me into little, like, I loved like independent, like I loved like Kevin Smith and Wes Anderson. Like we were in high school obsessed with like Bottle Rocket and Clerks and Rushmore came out when we were in high school, and we like loved those movies, and that was also very inspirational because there was a real sense, like we knew they were inexpensive films, and like you would just read these
kind
stories
of the perfect
about them.
Time to be wanting to do that.
100%.
Because there's so much breakout stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So we were like, it all seemed like
if you're in high school today.
Yeah.
What on earth are you thinking your odds are? Because the only things that are getting made really.
Or you can make a Netflix thing. There's so much stuff. You could just, well, if you're in high school today, you could make your own shit, and that's
Well,
what
that's true.
you could literally like if we were young today, we would have just made Superbad,
Right,
And
that's
we would have
true.
made it on our fucking phones,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that would have been the difference. Is we would have just made
You would
it.
have been empowered to do it, yeah.
And at the time, you just needed lights and cameras and shit. Because
Minimally
it was-
hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Exactly. And so, but even that seemed obtainable. So that was really like my plan at the time was like, I'll try to make Superbad at worst in like an outrageously inexpensive fashion.
Yeah.
And I'll be the star of it. And we tried to do that for years and years and years.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
We wrote Pineapple Express throughout that time.
Oh, really?
So we were trying to get Superbad made, and Evan would come to LA, and we would talk on the phone, and we wrote Pineapple Express in that time as well, basically. And
Yeah.
we're trying to make them both, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much shit you had in the chamber
Yeah.
once things happened for you.
Well, yeah, things happen really. What's crazy is we made Knocked Up and Superbad and Pineapple Express all in one like 12-month period.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, really quick about Freaks and Geeks and Undeclared. The people, it's like The Outsiders,
Yeah.
right? I don't know. I'm sure you've heard that comparison. But,
all the time.
but not just on the acting front. I think most people know that, like, you know, you and James Franco
Yeah.
came out of that. But on the writing and directing front, like the fact that Jake Kasdan directed that pilot, right? And Paul Feig.
Yep.
And John Hamburg did an episode of your show, right? Nick Stoller was a writer. Greg Mottola was a director.
Yeah, John Favreau directed an episode.
Yeah, the last episode of the season or something.
Yeah, of Undeclared. Yeah,
When you look at it that way,
crazy.
right, it's a little bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, it's crazy. And like, I mean, one thing no one cannot say about Judd Apatow is that he doesn't have like an amazing eye for talent. You know,
Yeah,
like
it's uncanny.
It's completely, it's truly uncanny. The amount of people that he was able to
He's like
wrangle from early on.
He's like
in their
Lauren
careers.
Michaels of the West Coast almost.
Yeah, and like with kind of movies and television instead of sketch comedy, basically, you know? Yeah.
Well, and I think what you could obviously deduce from the fact that you then went on to work with almost all those people I just listed
yeah.
means that you weren't a dick during that period, because you could have easily been like, oh, who's this guy? And I'm a brat and blah, blah, blah. But what's very obvious, you've now worked with every one of those guys, right? Because you're a voice in Favreau's
Lion King, yeah.
Lion King. So it's almost like every one of these people you've gone on to then
Stoller and Mottola and a lot of them. I tried to be nice, you know?
Yeah.
And I was a very hard worker. Like I also it wasn't lost on me that I was 18 years old in a room full of, 27 to 50-year-olds
who knew a shitload
you know?
about movie making and stuff.
Yeah, and writing, and we're just older, and just and so I tried not, but from a very young age, from the time I was 13, I was like sitting at a table with like grown stand-up comedians in the back of a club, talking, and I learned from a very young age to like understand that and to not be the annoying kid and to navigate that, and to be, because there was also another stand-up comic who was around my age who did stand-up comedy sometimes who nobody fucking liked, and he was actually someone who I could point to as like the 14-year-old comedian, and I was just like, oh man, don't act like that fucking guy. He was like so entitled and like act like an adult.
I think it says a lot about your own self-esteem for whatever reason at that time, because I would have blown that up.
Yeah.
I know I would have. I would have had the hardest time just filling my role and being beta and just learning. I would be trying to impress them about all the shit I knew. I would have blown that. I don't think there's no way at 17 or 18 or 19 I wouldn't have tried to impress them in this terrible way.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself.
I guess you just
I
knew
think
that
you're
your
being hard
work-
on yourself. Yeah.
I think you knew that maybe you just knew your work was going to speak for itself, that you would write and you would create.
I
and
also think that I was at an age when like education was a part of the process to
Yeah.
me. Like it was like I understood that it was like an amazing opportunity. Like I was like a dog with a bone. Like I
Yeah.
was like, there was like I think there was like 14. I don't know how many episodes of Undeclared there were. Maybe there's 16 of them. I think as a writer, my name's on like 5 of them. Like I was acting on the show at the same time. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, I'll stay here. I'll sleep for 1 fucking hour.
Right.
And I'll act all day and then I'll go and write until fucking 4 in the morning and then I'll sleep until 6 in the morning and then I'll go to set and I'll act all day.
Yeah.
And I'll do it all again the next day. Like I was just like, I was
just
just
did it
going to
for-
show people that, and myself, that like I was willing to work harder than anybody. Was basically
Yeah.
like the only thing I knew I could control. I was like,
Yes.
all I can control is
I look how I look. I
own
sound
work
how I
ethic.
sound.
Yeah.
I'm as tall as I'm.
Yeah.
All those things are predestined.
Yeah, but I can control how much effort I put in, and I can make sure that I'm telling myself that I'm working harder than everyone that is trying to do the same thing I'm trying to do. Because
Yeah.
I was also like hyper appreciative. I think again, maybe probably through doing stand-up comedy because it's a little competitive, So
Yeah.
I try not to be a competitive person because I try to be able to tell myself like I'm just going to work as hard as I humanly can.
Yeah.
So no matter what, I just know that that's what I did, and I won't even if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. Whatever it is, I just know that like.
You won't
It
walk
won't
away
be
going,
for
"I did."
lack of effort.
Yeah.
It will be for some other thing. And I do feel that way. Like, and at the time I was hyper aware of that. I was like, I'm
you
just
think-
going to work everyone else as I'm just going to show everyone that like
Yeah.
I will work an unlimited amount of time.
And do you think that was something that was taught to you, or that you just genetically are hardwired that way?
I think
Your
it was
parents-
something I knew that I needed to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
Like, I think it was more born out of sheer necessity. Like, I knew I wanted to, from a very young age, like, I was able to express myself through comedy, and I had an instinct that I would be able to express myself through movies and through screenplay writing.
Yeah.
And to me, like, it was just like a very clear route to having a life that was like not the worst version of life, and maybe on the contrary, like a good version of life. And I was very aware of that from like a very young age. And I was just like,
Do you have a theory on why you wanted that so much?
no, I don't know. I think it was because I was kind of like a depressed kid. Mm-hmm. And I was a kid that today would probably have been put on like a lot of Ritalin and shit like that.
Right.
And I think I had like behavioral problems, but I think at a pretty
You were
young-
hyperactive?
I was
or-
hyper. I was always getting kicked out of class and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Like I was always like, I was just like I made my teachers cry a lot. Like when I was in grade like 3, and like
In the
like
Torah
not
school.
out of being like mean, just out of being like I would push them to the brink of their
Capacity.
limits. Yeah. And then I think I started to realize like, oh, this is like a way I can express myself. It's something
But when
yeah.
you smoke pot, again, I'm just because I'm sober, I couldn't be more pro drugs. I did mushrooms every day for every weekend, every Saturday for 5 years. I love it.
Mushrooms are
I would have loved to have kept doing it. When you smoked pot for the first time, did you get a sensation of like, oh, this feels right? Because you just point out that you probably would have been medicated. And then I've talked about this once before on here. I read this amazing article by a psychiatrist saying that when he sits with patients and he asks them like what recreational drugs they do, and then the response to those drugs, he said, when I have a patient that does cocaine and they can go to sleep, I go, oh, that person has ADHD.
Yeah.
We have our own drugs, Ritalin, and that we would put them on, but people find the drugs they need.
Yes.
And we just offer different drugs. And so one of the things was when people who smoke pot who get energized and productive and creative, that they typically have depression.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So
imagine.
I've always been astounded. Like, you're one of my favorite Stern interviews. I think you must have done that show, 4 times at this point?
Yeah, more probably even, yeah.
Yeah. You're the greatest Stern guest. And when you go through your routine and how you can write stoned and you can do all these things stoned, I think, that must have something to do with what's going on.
Probably, yeah. I mean, again, I think I did start. What's interesting is I started smoking weed at around the time all this stuff started to culminate. Like when I got into high school, when I started doing stand-up comedy, when I started writing Superbad.
Yeah.
But I've also never felt like impaired by it.
Right,
and
right.
I've never felt.
You're clearly not.
Yeah,
Super
I've
funny and
never
creative.
felt like, and I've always thought like, honestly, that connotation or that even association was, like misleading.
Bothered you, right?
Like, yeah, the association with impairment and weed. I don't think that they're analogous. Well, I mean, every few years, like anything they're trying to make the public dislike, they kind of have to reinvent the reasoning for it when the previous reasoning is proven to not be valid, basically. Yeah. So at first, it was illegal for very different, like, people have at first it made you go fucking crazy. Then it made you turn into a criminal. Then it turned you into a lazy, useless person. Then it and then slowly all those things are kind of debunked over the years. And, and I think luckily now people seem much more culturally accepting of it, I think. And people are realizing that it has a lot of therapeutic purposes, but I think everyone has these things, and I think like it's not everyone has like coping mechanisms, has lenses through which they need to augment.
How much nicotine have you watched me ingest
Exactly.
since we sat down? So I found nicotine, like I need it. I've been off of it.
Yeah.
I don't think as clearly. I'm grumpy. I lack energy. There's all these things. I don't know what it is about nicotine, but it's the drug I need. Like I've lived life off of it, and I've lived life on it, and I far prefer life on it. So I ask you these questions.
I also think there's like a myth that there's like this baseline level of like purity that everyone can maybe strive to achieve. If you work hard enough, you'll just need nothing. But like that is not like, I don't know if that's real, because then like, what are you eating? Maybe what you're eating isn't making you feel good. Like even if you need nothing, you're eating something, maybe that needs to counterbalance. Not everyone can afford perfect food all the time.
Like, I think it's way too simple. It's like this laziness to go like, well, what are we really concerned about? What I'm concerned about is someone is depressed. They're unproductive, and that's leading to all kinds of problems in their life. Those are problems that are worth being concerned about.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying to regulate some inside emotions with outside stuff, and it's not working, and it's creating more havoc in your life. Those are all things to work. But just to say across the board, weed is good or bad, I think is kind of a waste of time. You're better. I think
weed should be available. I think that I would say across the board in a legal, regulated way.
I totally agree.
Like again, it's like saying anything else is coffee good or bad? For some people it's good, for some people it's bad.
Yeah, some people get anxiety and panic attacks from caffeine, and some thrive.
Exactly. So I would put them in similar categories, honestly.
Do you get sick of talking about the weed thing? You can be dead honest with me.
I honestly, sadly, I've probably reached the limit on like joking, like making work where the central hilarious joke is the illicit nature of weed.
Or being super stoned.
But that being said, like I'm not, because it's something, honestly, that has, in my opinion, like facilitated a lot of my functionality, which I would argue, is quite
High.
high.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throughout the majority of my life.
Well, that's why I would urge you
to.
to always talk
yeah.
about it, because you're one of the better examples of how some people
Yeah, for
use
sure.
it.
And that's another reason I'm more than happy to talk about it, is
Yeah.
that I understand because when I was young, and just I mean, it's so silly. There was far more important causes that you could say this about that. I don't want to pretend that this is like, I'm not gonna die. Like,
No, it's up there with childhood diabetes.
Yeah, exactly. But like, it's something that I do think a lot of people it helps facilitate like a good functionality level for them. And I felt a lot of shame about it. And I felt like I was, at times. And any time I stopped wanting to use it regularly, it was purely built out of shame. It wasn't built out of like, I don't think I'm doing a good job. I don't think this is working well. It was always like, oh man, like everything is telling me that this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then when I would hear about other people, I remember you would just hear like, oh, Jack Nicholson smokes weed all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I think
and
among
you would
other
hear
things.
like, yeah, exactly. And then you would hear like, oh, Harrison Ford smoked weed. These people smoked weed. And I remember it was weirdly like hugely validating to see like, oh, there are people that have made it to respectable places in the world who have functioned on a day-to-day basis in a way that one would consider compliant with society, if not above and beyond those expectations. He smoked weed regularly. And I think that was something
In the shame periods, did you quit ever for long periods of time?
No,
Never. It's like beating off, where you feel bad, but then you can't not do it.
No, I've never gone like a significant amount of time without smoking weed, unless I'm like in a country where it's like highly illegal.
So days or weeks?
I've probably gone like 6-day chunks because of like travel. Yeah.
And are you edgy in those? Like, can you feel the lack of it, or is it fine?
It's probably, I'd rather have it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
I want you to have it.
Yeah.
I can't put
You
too
want
fine a
me to
point
have it.
on how supportive I am of you smoking weed.
rather-
As soon as you got in here today, I said, I want you to please smoke weed if you want to. During this.
I probably will.
Yeah, I can't wait. But I only asked out of curiosity. Like, do you feel a little edgy when you don't do it?
What's funny is, and I like someone who is truly reliant on something, I feel more anxiety going into knowing that I'm not going to have it than I do once I'm actually there and can have it. You know what I mean?
That makes a ton of sense.
Like,
yeah.
I'm worried, like, oh no, am I going to be fucking miserable? What's it going to be like? And then I get there and I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Like, it's not that bad.
Well, one of the funniest stories I've heard you tell on Stern was you were how many days did you guest host the, like, was it Hoda and Kathy Lee?
Just one day.
Oh, just one day. And which to me, that whoever might have an issue with you smoking weed, I think it's far more curious that there's a show in the morning where these two
ladies
women
get fucking shit out.
faced.
Yeah, they're just like,
they get fucking drunk monkey.
they go for it. I was I was appalled. I was nothing short of appalled. I was
So
like,
you
I thought it
arrived-
was a gag.
Right, you
it's like,
arrived-
I don't smoke real weed on fucking screen.
Right.
When I'm like, it's like it would be like if we were smoking weed. Like we don't do that.
Oh, you don't
Like,
do that
No,
because of how many takes you have to do, and that you just get too
because
hot.
there's a crew around.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because it's not. It's rude because I think it's rude.
Okay.
Honestly, that's largely why.
But you act you'll act stoned though, right?
I do, yeah, but not like I do, but
Like a 3?
I find that honestly, I find that I look like I physically will look a little stoned sometimes. So I
okay.
try mostly just for like physical reasons to leave
Okay.
enough buffer that I'm not like really baked off my ass.
Okay.
There have been even like there's been scenes here and there where I'll be in editing and be like, oh man, I look pretty fucking baked in that scene. It might work for the character, but it's good to mentally note.
yeah. When you're doing Steve Jobs,
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly. Yes, I did not smoke weed when I made the Steve Jobs movie.
Yeah. But you get to Kathy Lee and Hoda.
Yes.
And what time in the morning is it?
It's like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 9 a.m. And they're like, what do you want to drink? First question. And I'm like, what? Coffee? And they're like, no, out there. They drink.
Water,
what do you want to
coffee.
drink? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do they drink? Oh, just wine, like big.
Yeah.
And what, like,
They drink very big glasses of wine.
that's what I was just
right?
saying.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't, like, some wine glasses hold around a bottle of wine. Like, and they just fucking, and like,
They put back a bottle of wine. I think it's safe to
couldn't
say.
believe it. I have like
Did you choose wine?
I think I might have had a beer because I was like, I'll nurse it. Like, it seemed a little more respectable,
Yeah.
I guess.
But
yeah,
part of me would have really dug it. Were you like, fuck it, yeah, let's get hot cheeks
it was
and warm
pretty-
ears on this?
I'm not like, I didn't want to. I feel like I did ultimately end up saying something to like one of the editors of Entertainment Weekly or something that I should like. I do feel like I said something to one of the guests that ultimately I was like, oh man, that beer at fucking 8 a.m. was not the greatest play in the world.
But even as an alcoholic, which I was,
Yes.
it is a unique feeling to get drunk at 8 a.m., which
No.
I certainly did. But it's such a different context than
I
what you're
do
used
prefer
right?
it to night, like not. I don't drink that much in general,
Right.
Like, and I will go like months on end without being drunk in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
but like I do like drinking during the day.
Yeah, if you ever go camping, like as
Yeah.
teens, we would camp, and on a camping trip, you wake up and drink beer.
Yeah.
and it is the neatest feeling
Yeah.
to be like starting your day with
It's
that
weird.
buzz.
Wine tasting is the adult equivalent to that.
Yeah, I loved it. So did you? Because that must have been your first time in the morning.
It was
buzzed
super
on
weird
TV.
on television. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very, very, very strange.
Was
And
it enjoyable though? It
It
sounds
was kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I went back. It was just me and Hoda,
Okay.
which was cool.
Let's be clear.
Hoda's cool.
Chill.
Not to say Kathy Lee's not chill.
Don't know either way, but
I went back on another time, and me and Kathy Lee had a little bit of like, I don't want to say altercation because that implies maybe something physical happened. But so
A confrontation?
an on-air confrontation.
oh wow!
Yes.
About what topic?
About the definition of the word slash legality of the word escrow.
Oh, what a thing to debate.
Well, it's a big part of the movie Neighbors, and I was on there promoting it.
Okay.
And she claimed I was wrong.
She was calling
in my
bullshit.
use of the word escrow.
And what was your use? Because I want to see if I'm in her camp or yours. Hopefully, we can have another confrontation.
I was just spoiler alert. I was right.
But my understanding is it is an
It's a
account.
third party,
It's a third party bank account
where they hold the money during which time like inspections are done on a
Yeah,
house that
right.
you've purchased and all the paperwork is signed on,
and then it
things
goes
like that.
into the seller's
Yes.
account. Yeah.
Exactly. And once the stipulations of the deal are lifted, the escrow is moved from one account to another.
Closed.
She did not feel that was the
Do you recall what her position on escrow was?
She didn't think that's what it was, and I don't think she thought it was something that happened. I think she thought it was something that maybe only happened in California because she didn't get it.
Okay.
And
you know what that tells me? And I say this with my full admission of my own life. That means she has a business manager. She has no fucking clue
She
what happens
doesn't know.
when you buy a house.
Yeah.
Like she has pointed to houses and then
buy
she's
it.
given keys.
And there's a lot of shit I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I admit it.
I wouldn't argue about
Yes,
the
the
exact
entitlement.
dynamics of how to pay an electrical bill, for example.
Yeah, who knows?
Because it's not something I've done
I don't know if
myself.
someone
in a
walks
very
down there
long
with
time.
it.
No. Yeah, how do they do it? I picture the things from Monopoly when you say the electric company.
Yeah.
But because admittedly, I've had a business manager since I was
18
years old.
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. I could be wrong. The next thing you read about me is that I've been robbed blind, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys who'd be like, he didn't know anything about his finance. They took everything from him.
I have a friend in Tennessee who works for Fireman's Fund, and he investigates claims, right? He's a super smart hillbilly. And he just randomly said to me, he's like, so y'all have your money with a business manager? And I said,
Did he say Jew?
it came up. He said, y'all got a Jew business manager? I think it was implicit
Exactly.
in the term business manager that
yeah.
it was Jew. So he goes, how often y'all audit him? And I go, I never have audited him.
Yeah.
And I all of a sudden felt really stupid. Like, oh my God, I'm being trusted with both Kristen and I's finances,
Yeah.
and I'm not doing any due diligence. So I came home and I called my business manager, who, by the way, is my favorite person I work with.
Yeah.
I've been with him the longest. I trust him.
Love
the most.
my guy.
I wonder if it's the same. But at any rate,
He's Jewish.
Mine too. Well, so I call him up and I go, so listen, I've decided I'm going to audit you.
And he goes, great. I know we audit other people for our clients, and I'll know exactly what to give the person. Great. I use this guy out of Georgia who doesn't know who we are, doesn't give a flying fuck. He just is a forensic accountant, and he's 70. So this guy goes through everything over the course of like 3 months, right? Yeah. He calls me up, and he's like, you're good to go. Everything looks, perfect. I'm like, great. So then I call Howard, and I say, hey, I just hope you know that wasn't any like vote of distrust. I just felt guilty not monitoring this. And he goes, I totally understand. And I go, do people do that often? He goes, in 20 years of doing this, you're the first person to audit us. And I was like, oh my goodness, we don't pay attention at all. And I wouldn't have done it.
That makes you a genius.
If I hadn't been made to feel like such an asshole. But
I'm auditing my guy.
I got the perfect guy for you down in
I'm
Georgia.
going to audit your guy.
He won't know who the fuck you are.
That's
He'll
great.
be so unimpressed.
He's an inside guy, though. The guy you were auditing suggested the guy that you used to audit.
No,
the guy.
my friend from Tennessee.
Oh, the other guy did it.
Who does a lot of auditing through Fireman's Fund, has an assassin in Georgia.
The way you said it was so nice. I'm going to use that exact wording. We're like, hey, just so you know,
I love you.
I love you. You're great.
The reason
I started to feel guilty. I haven't audited you. That's how much I like you.
I feel
I want to prove your reputability to people.
Was it effortless for you to turn that over to somebody?
Yeah, I was totally never money was never like highly valued in my family.
Yeah, I wanted to know about
something like, my parents were like socialists essentially,
You said radical Jewish socialists.
Yeah, and I went to like a summer camp that was like a socialist summer camp, and like my parents met on like a kibbutz, which is like essentially like
in
a commune.
Israel.
Yeah, like so. And we didn't have a lot of money, but like we weren't.
You didn't fetishize it.
No, not at all. And like I know a lot of people who grew up that way. And again, it's one of those things I think as you get a little older, you're like, oh, that's nice. That wasn't something that I was completely like conditioned to think was the be all end all of.
And it didn't impact at all how much you ended up making. Like I thought about it nonstop. I think about it on some, but it didn't yield me more money than you got by not thinking about it.
No, and I never think about like I know a lot of people who like ascribe. And it's one of these things that happens a lot where like they ascribe their own. There's some equivalent to like the deals they are able to get and how far or valuable their money is in comparison to other people's money. And they draw a lot of worth from that. Just in general, people saying like, oh, I got the best deal on this. Like, how much is this person paying?
Well, it's kind of like
pay less. Like, I assume I'm paying more than everyone for everything. And I am 100% okay with that.
That's lovely.
I'm never like, they're ripping me off. Like, how dare they? I'm always like, yeah, I have more money than a lot of people. If you're ripping me off a little bit, that I would expect all that's kind of par for the course. It doesn't make me feel like I'm a shittier as a result of it, or it doesn't reflect on me. If I buy something and then I see I could have bought it for a little less money a few days later, I'm not like, fuck, I'm an idiot.
You don't beat yourself up.
No, I don't care. Like, those are the things that, and I see, it sounds obvious, I'm sure, to people, but those are things I see people with huge amounts of money really put a lot of energy into.
Oh, can I tell you?
Like, it's fucking crazy.
My things is it's two fears that feed one another. So one fear is that you would not think I'm smart. That's a big fear I have.
Yeah.
Another fear is money.
Yeah.
So not only I have to get a good deal because I'm obsessed with money, but then also I don't want you to think I was an idiot and I left money on the table or I got taken advantage of.
That's with a lot of people. I'm okay with that. I don't mind if people think I'm getting taken advantage
it's so
of.
Healthy.
Leaving money on the table. I already have more money than I ever thought I would have. If I have a little, as long as you're not taking all my money, then I'm pretty. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's really lovely. Yeah. It's how Kristen is too.
And I think a lot of people. The other thing, like, and I think a lot of people like put a lot of like, they feel like they have, especially in Hollywood. I think they feel like if they're not getting treated,
it's a measure.
They feel like if they're not getting treated better than everyone in general, then they are not as worthy a person as they hope they are.
Yes.
In general, you know?
Absolutely.
And I think money goes to that, where it's like, well, if I'm paying this for something, then maybe I'm not as good as I think I am.
Yeah, well, it's an industry of like very fluid value,
Yeah.
and evaluating yourself is something that you're always wrong about and is changing hourly. And so there's a ton of insecurity just in general in this business, understandably.
Yeah.
As you're like, you do one movie and you're number 1 on the call sheet, then you do another movie, you're number 4, and then you have this trailer, and then you have a different trailer. Like there's all these little flags planted all around that you could, if you cared, evaluate yourself. And it's super dangerous.
100%. I fortunately...
You seem to be very at peace with all that stuff.
I'm at peace with that stuff. I've chosen to boil it down into like, are my movies good and did they do well? I've chosen to focus on those two things. Basically, like I've dumped all my anxiety of my entire career into 2 buckets. Basically, are they considered good, and did they do well enough that I'll get to continue working?
So so when something doesn't do well, how hard do you take it out of 10?
It depends if it's considered good or not.
Okay. Okay. What if it's a double whammy?
Then that sucks. And I've had a few, and it's a bummer. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the recovery period for you on that?
It depends. Generally, until the next thing. Like, I'm probably not fully healed until something else comes out. Until I'm able to... Honestly, though, I think before that, for me, if I'm working on something that I genuinely think will lead to that, whether I'm wrong or not, that usually makes me feel a lot better. Like, just having an idea that I'm like, this is going to... Like, the interview was very traumatic for a number of reasons, you know, and that, like, really wobbled me, I would say.
Yeah.
But, like... we just kept working, and like we were and we were making stuff that we really liked and we're excited by, and even though it took a while for it to come out, it was stuff that, like, as we were doing it, I was like, okay, like this will be good. People will like this. This won't be like, or at least I'm excited by this. So even though there's like, it's, you know, but that doubt is always there. Even when you're coming off something good, you're worried that the next thing isn't going to be. So like, that's also something. But like, as long as I'm working on something I like, I'm genuinely pretty happy.
Well, I could see what's interesting is I could see your previous your career before the interview. Is that what it's called?
It is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so bad with this. I'm going to edit that out. I could see it going one of 2 ways. Like, in my mind, if you have the interview, but you've already had Pineapple Express and Superbad and 40-Year-Old Virgin, all these things, my mind goes like, well, you've had so much success, it must help in getting over something like that. But then at the same time, I could see it going the other way, where it's like you feel the pressure to keep succeeding.
Yeah. And
there's probably no good jumping off point for something that goes
that's
sideways.
South. Yeah. Like, and we were worried that, like, will people just forever have filed us away in their heads alongside something that is not funny? Like, will we seem like people who are just like, how dare they try to make another movie? The last time they did, don't they see what happened? Like, there was a little bit of that also, where we were just like, will people accept more from us? Or will they be like, all right, like,
we gave you a lot of rope.
Pack it in, guys. You've shown your hand and we're not happy with it. And so,
but do you think your perception of what the global perception of that movie is accurate? Because I'm highly suspicious that it's not. Even hearing what what you're saying right now is, I don't believe. My hunch is that the world doesn't even view that thing the way you think they do.
I don't think so, and that's the thing I've learned over the years. Also, I think just at the time, like, it was the first thing we made that was really like. Even though, like, it didn't, like, on the grand scale of things, like, it wasn't that poorly received. It actually probably, even though it didn't come out in theaters, like, financially didn't do as bad as some of the other things we've done over the years. And so I think if those are the barometers that I'm generally kind of using, is like, is it viewed as good? Like, not as good as some things, not as bad as others. Was it a total failure that prevented us from working in the future? No. but it was really like, it was the first thing I made where people were like, they shouldn't have made this. And that...
Well, but let me just,
that's a weird thing to be told.
Well, yes, but also that's an advantage they have after the fact, because they could have probably said that about any one of your movies had they not worked.
Yes.
They could have said like, oh, they should have never made Knocked Up.
Yeah.
If it didn't work. But that's just bullshit. That's just people jumping on after
But I think what it was also was like the margin of error for this, knowing that like the best version's another good R-rated comedy and the worst version is like nuclear annihilation. Maybe they shouldn't have gone into that arena knowing that was the potential margin of error.
Well, I can tell you what my the first time I heard about it, I was taking a meeting at Sony with an executive there, a woman who loved you guys.
Yeah.
And she explained what you guys were making. And I remember being so happy. Yeah. I was genuinely like, in my soul, I was like, God bless these guys that they've been given some opportunity, and they're doing exactly what I'd pray they would do.
Yeah.
It made me so excited that that's what the movie was. Yeah. Everything that came after that.
Yeah.
I was just like, fucking ballsy, punk rock, cool move, good for them.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I feel like if I were you, I would have maybe felt bad about was the crazy unforeseen fallout of like this hack.
That I don't feel as bad about as you would think, because the head of Sony, Michael Linton, like was explicitly warned about the likelihood of a hack.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, in a meeting. I was in.
Oh, okay.
And they proceeded to do nothing about it.
Okay.
And like...
I only think, I probably don't know as much about it as I should even bring it up, but I only know that like Amy Pascal's someone who I've met a dozen times. Yeah. And I just adore her.
Oh, she's great.
Yeah, lovely
We're still
lady.
working with her on several movies.
Oh, good. Yeah. She's just so lovely.
Yeah,
and then I also can only imagine if you went through all my emails.
Yes.
It would what her emails would look like. Duck, Duck, Goose compared to things I've said in emails. I would be done for life.
Yeah, I mean, that was a reality I had to face as well in some ways. But like, yeah, I mean, I do feel... I mean, I don't know if it's my fault. And
no,
that's
it's
the
not.
thing,
I don't
like,
think you should feel guilty, but I'm only saying I can imagine myself taking on that guilt.
That like I never quite took on. When I more felt guilty, I didn't...
Because you're blaming the victims at that point. Like,
exactly. Like, I was actually pretty angry. And like, to me, at the time, like, I just remember a lot thinking like, all right, like, a crime has been committed
by North Korea,
or by some hacker who hates Sony. Okay. Whoever it is.
Oh, it's not confirmed that it was a North Korean thing?
I mean,
there were Russian hackers.
It's one of
maybe
these
employed
it's
by...
one of these like conspiracy-ish things where like people. Again, the thing with like a hacking is it's hard to definitively say who did it. So there is people who say definitively it was North Korea, and there are other people who say that it wasn't North Korea. Right. And the truth is, like, I personally go back and forth on thinking like who did it and why and various things, and so do the other people involved in the story.
Although one country clearly would have the clearest motive,
but it's weird because like of all the other shit that's happened, like this is what North Korea hacks someone over like in a massive way, like not like. Like, it just seems like there's been a lot of aggression back and forth between North Korea. I don't know if our movie was like the most egregious, like, example of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, again, I don't know. It's something I go back and forth on, honestly. But the hacking itself was like not something we took on because that was like. Sony was always getting fucking hacked also. Like, they're notoriously hated by hackers. They did this thing in the 90s, I think, late 80s, early 90s, where people were like ripping off compact disc CDs. And Sony created
like
ones.
Napster stuff?
Yeah, they were burning discs and shit. Sony created ones that would like destroy your computer.
Oh, wow.
If you tried to copy them in a way that was illegal. And it made it that hackers just fucking always hated them. And it's why the PlayStation Network is like always getting hacked.
Oh, it is?
Like a lot. Disproportionately from the other like video game like I don't know if the Xbox Network has been hacked as many times as the PlayStation one, for example. They're just known for being a company hackers don't like, which just again, it's all like conspiracy theory shit. Yeah. But again, there was always enough confusion about it that it was not something that I like fully was like, it's our fault Sony got hacked. Because,
Right.
I don't know if it's our fault.
It's really
Sony got
weird
hacked.
though, because you have the kind of personality that, I mean, again, I don't really know you personally, but it would appear to me I could see where you would think the whole thing was really funny. Like, but I guess when you're in the middle of it, because to me on the outside it was kind of funny. I was like, this is a really kind of punk rock outcome. There's something about it that felt very like, of all people to get in an international crisis.
I know, yeah.
It's you. There's something about that I find,
and it kind of reflected the movie in a funny way. It was a lot. I'll just say it was a lot. It was a little much. And it's the kind of thing now, looking back on it, at the time, like, it was the first time that I had been, that probably the only time that I'd been this. I mean, now there's been little like dips in the water here and there, but it's like I was the subject of like the news. The president, like Obama was giving like entire press conferences about it.
I can't really comprehend that.
There was like I remember like a press conference happened when it was all happening, and we were like, are they going to ask about it? Like maybe they won't. And the first 5 questions were about it.
About
like
Seth Rogen.
making Obama talk about it for like 15 minutes. Like,
oh my God.
And like that at that moment, and it was kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
He ultimately was like on our side, and like it was
Yeah.
but it was like it was just a little much. It was just a lot to process at the time, I think.
I
was
would
like,
really want to get
Yeah.
you on mushrooms and replay that whole thing, because it would be so
Yeah.
beyond comprehension.
Yeah, it really, and it kind of like it rattled me for
Yeah.
a little while. Like I wasn't sure how people would react.
Were you having a hard time writing at that point? Did that like affect your desire to sit down and write?
No, because the whole time we were working on Sausage Party.
Oh, okay.
And like that's something we've been writing like for almost the last like decade.
Yeah.
And so like we were just always working on it. And like, and I didn't have time to like not keep writing. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
like,
right.
and I made the Steve Jobs movie like right after, like it all happened in December. Like I was shooting that movie like in the middle of January, and then like we directed the pilot for Preacher in April, and then like we were making Neighbors 2 like after that. Like it just like kept rolling basically, and so it was. But it wasn't until the next movie came out, which was the night before, which again like. It was like fun. Like it didn't do that well, and it was well enough reviewed that I was like happy with how overall it was perceived, and people seemed to think it was funny. But it was good enough that I was just like,
We're past
we're past the next one. We're over the hump. Like that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's like it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing. It's back to kind of business
But
as usual a little bit. You know?
I hope the time it'll be funny to use if you indeed do have a kid at some point.
Yeah.
And you sit your 20-year-old down and explain to
it
him
to
that,
them.
that you caused an
Well,
international crisis. I think you'll have such delight in telling him.
And one real net out that is just funny is like, now no matter where I am, and people are like, in the world, and people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm an actor. And people are like, would I know you from anything? And I'm like, I made this movie about North Korea. And 100% of people are like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was you. So it's given me one thing that everybody's heard of.
Do you have those conversations?
Yeah. all the
You
time.
run into people that are like,
That don't
who are
know
you?
you?
That seems hard to believe.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot, like when
You're in Afghanistan,
yeah, exactly.
and Patagonia, and Sri Lanka, and Mongolia.
It happens a lot.
So how did when you the Steve Jobs movie?
Yeah.
You were so fucking good in it.
Thank you.
You really, really, really were amazing. And Danny Boyle directed that.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was great.
Did you love it? I just worship Danny
Oh,
Boyle.
he's amazing. I loved it. It was like, to me, those things are like super educational, and I'm like largely
Studying the director.
studying what the director's doing and how
Yeah.
it's all coming together, and I'm talking to them a lot, and with the and the actors, I'm just trying to like do the scenes the best of my capabilities and not fuck it up, and like that was obviously, a little intimidating.
Yeah, I was
because of
curious
that.
if you like had anxiety going into that at all.
I did a little bit, yeah, but not I have anxiety. In a way, it was. It is in many ways, I think, easier to do drama than comedy.
Yeah,
and so it in some, and also like right after the interview is when it happened. So like I was a little wobbled, and like the notion that I didn't have to like improvise fucking jokes for 12 hours a day, and instead I could just learn Aaron Sorkin dialogue and say it. Like that to me was like honestly like a huge relief. And
also,
so,
just to get in the mechanics of filmmaking for 2 seconds, if you make a joke in a movie, me doing a slow pushing on you and
doesn't
playing,
work anymore.
Playing David Gray, it's not going to get us there emotionally.
No, exactly.
There are a lot of tricks in a drama that are at your disposal that just aren't there in a comedy.
No, it's true. You can tell the audience what to think a little bit.
I can just play. Yeah, I can film your dead plain face, and I push in on it long enough and slow enough, and I play the right song. I go, this motherfucker's got some, some trauma going on.
Yeah,
the audience fills it in for you.
A lot of gaps,
but they can't fill in comedy for you. They can't just make up a joke in their head in that moment.
No, it'd be great if they could.
It would be so much easier, wouldn't it?
My life a lot easier. But yeah, and so it was, and improvising. We honestly do it less and less, and I think people are getting a little sick of it, which is why we're doing it less. Like I think it's something that we helped usher in, and now it's something that people have grown tired of.
It's a little bit of it's metastasized a little bit.
I just feel like it's become highly identifiable a little bit. Like I just watched Game Night, which I really loved, and I could tell just from the way it was shot that it was not heavily improvised. Just again, like knowing about the mechanics of directing, you're just
not
like,
dueling over.
They couldn't have shot it like this if they were improvising. It was incredibly specifically shot, and it was so refreshing. It was like it was nice that you could tell they like weren't just riffing. Instead, they were. It was
to be honest, I was bumped in a movie, a drama. I don't want to like shit on anything, but very popular drama, and it had some well-known improvers in it, and I thought I noticed the other actors that are traditionally dramatic actors, I could see them doing it, like, they wanted in on it.
Yeah, that happens.
And it was just in this context of a director I already loved, and I was like, no, I don't like this. Like, I can feel it, and it's someone trying to keep up, which I don't like.
Yeah.
And it's just taking me out of it entirely.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that seems to, and also, improv's a little more specific of a skill than I think maybe some people are recognizing, which is anyone can say non sequiturs, that's fine, but like actually driving a story forward or hitting the same beat in the scene, that's not a skill that like 90% of actors in SAG have. No,
and also understanding the technical aspect enough to know when to improvise.
Yeah, when it could possibly make the edit.
Yeah, and that's just something that like is like, as someone who both is improvising and then having to deal with the footage after the fact is like something I've become highly sensitive to, because I just so many times will see people do stuff and I'm just like, motherfucker, we can't use any of this shit. And I'll just let you say it because it's a bummer for me to tell you in front of everyone that like all this shit's useless.
Absolutely.
Everyone thinks is so fucking funny, but like, I'm sorry, like you should have said this shit an hour ago.
Also, did you have this experience too? Like once I started editing stuff I shot, I was like, I don't want 8 great options. Yeah. It's already hard enough for me to pick between the top 2 options I have. Like, I don't really want 12 fucking things that are, who knows which one's better.
No, it's true. It's something that we grew like a little, I for sure think we've started to shoot more specifically as we go on. And then we've been directing a lot of TV lately, which you just have a lot less time. And so, and we've actually liked that because it forces you to think of things very concisely. And because in editing on television, honestly, a lot of the time you don't even have time to go through all the alts and find all the improvisation. So they kind of stay away from it a little bit more. And
you're so confined by the act breaks and all that stuff in TV, right? That the economy's so high.
Exactly. And so like has actually been very educational and enjoyable, is directing. Yeah, like going from having like as much time and freedom as we want to having to work in a very confined box. Has been, I think, helpful.
We just had David Sedaris on, and he was talking about how he has page limits for himself.
Oh, that's interesting.
And that he loves having page limits for himself, you know?
Oh, I think I work much better with like confinement, I think.
It's
and,
more
like,
fun to
and
try to figure out
parameters.
how to play
Yeah.
within the box, weirdly, right?
Well, I think you
because if there's
watch-
no box and the sky's the limit, then actually everything has to be the greatest thing ever done.
Well, you
if
see
there's
a
no
lot
rules.
of a lot of creative people like make the rules for themselves, and like the
Yeah.
really great ones you can see make the rules for themselves
Yeah.
and play within those rules. And I think like food is probably the most easy to identify like representation of that, because it's like, you know, they'll use only like, you know, it's like, here's beef 5 ways, you know, here's a tasting menu, but it's all local ingredients. It's all vegetables.
Yeah.
It's going through each thing.
Yeah.
And you just see like, oh, there couldn't be a more defined set of parameters that this person is working in.
Yeah.
And it's almost the better restaurant you go to, the more of those parameters
Yes.
there are,
Yeah.
creating a bullseye
You
that
want an
only
architect.
that person can hit. And I think that is like what's good about a lot of, again, creative parameters are for us. Like the first movie we made was all set in one house, basically.
Yeah.
And that was like really helpful for us. Like,
You had to get inventive about
yeah,
where
it
you were going
allowed
to
us
shoot.
to really, it allowed us to really, it couldn't have been a more literal example of working within a box, you know,
Yeah.
because we were working within a box, and we found it very freeing in a lot of ways, because it made it all of one piece,
Yeah.
almost no matter what we did. The parameters
location
were-
unified the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I think was helpful. Yeah.
What did you pick up from Danny Boyle? Was there anything in particular you were like, oh, that's interesting? That's part of his secret sauce.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I loved that he did, and we actually hired his composer to do the next thing we directed because we liked it so much, was he had his composer write the score like before the filming even started.
Oh, wow.
So and throughout filming, so they were never using temp score.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And I hate temp score.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it drives me crazy. And you're always like,
You've got like a Jurassic
chasing
Park.
it. Yeah, exactly. And
you inevitably start, just so people know, when you're editing, like you're trying to put some music in these scenes, and your editor's like grabbing, oh, this is an emotional scene. What's the best emotional scene ever made?
Exactly.
And then you take that song,
Exactly.
and you're now watching your movie
use,
with the.
We'll use the end of the Notebook, and then like, oh, there's an
Yeah.
exciting
Godfather.
moment. We'll use
John Goldman.
Blade Runner. Yeah, like it's
Jaws. And then you watch your movie, and it's so fucking misleading because you have like 10 of the best pieces of music ever written in your movie, and then you watch the scenes without that, and you're like, ooh, we got a little bit of a
well,
problem
and then
here.
it's unfair to your composer, I find, because
Mm-hmm.
they're constantly chasing.
Yes.
It would be as though like you blocked every acting scene with Marlon Brando and then showed it to your actor, and we're like, all right, like here's what we're going for, something like this, and the actor's just like, all right, so
Jackie
exactly.
Chan does the stunts.
Yeah, like
So this is what you're doing.
So just do that now. Like it,
Double flip over the table.
yeah, and like not is it what that person's instinct probably is. They're chasing some like impossible to achieve standard often.
Yeah.
And so that was something he did that we started to do, and we've done it in the last few things we've done, is we've gotten the composer to write music beforehand, and we'll say write like an emotional piece, right? Like a theme, right?
Yeah.
We'll have them write a bunch of shit, and then we'll use it as the temp score, basically. And that's what Danny did, and
That's
we just
smart.
straight up stole that shit. Trying to think what else I stole from Danny. There's a
What is camera wise? Did you notice anything that he does?
he used different formats that I liked. It was a lot of
he was using like multiple different.
like
bodies.
it's in 3 eras, the movie. So he did like 16 millimeter the first era, and 35 the second era, and then HD the third era.
Oh really?
Which
that's fascinating.
was fucking cool.
Yeah.
That was super fascinating. More and more, what I see when I was working with him and people like him is you're just like, oh, they really like empower these
fall in love with
artisans
people.
that they've hired, and they really work with them and
Yeah.
talk to them and bring them into the process.
Which
And,
in itself is
yeah.
almost a weird paradox, though, because
Yeah.
being Danny Boyle allows you to get some people that you really should just empower and let
Yeah.
them be. But as you're building a career, you're not getting access to all Academy Award-winning crew members, so I'm imagining you have to insert more of your opinion. Does that make sense? Like
little
when I
bit.
think about Spielberg
Yeah.
making a movie, he's a genius, undoubtedly. But also, his costume designer has 9 Academy Awards. His DP has Janusz Kaminski.
Yeah.
He's got, so you're definitely starting in a better place, and it's probably easier to empower those people.
It is. I find it's actually harder, though, to get at, like, I've worked, as a director with, like, very new DPs who've done very little and very, very established DPs who've like shot some of my favorite movies from my childhood,
Right.
And that's actually a lot harder in a lot of ways because it takes more courage to say like, no, I think the shot looks better from over here. Or like, I know we planned on doing it like this, but now that I'm here, I think we should do it 100% differently from that.
Yes.
And like, that was actually, I actually found that like, there was a certain freedom that I enjoyed. Like, This Is the End, Brandon Trost, who's our DP, who we still work with to this day, who shot almost every movie I've been like associated with since This Is the End, basically. But he was like younger than us, which was crazy at that time.
Yeah.
And he hadn't shot a lot of movies that were like of this scope by any stretch of the imagination, but what was nice about that is it made him like a true collaborator with us.
Right.
Instead of it being like, there's the
shoot,
guy, there's the DP. It made it be like, okay, like you're one of us.
Yeah.
Like, and
all of our asses are on the line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I found and it's my own personal thing. Like I find I get like intimidated by people and I'm a little less willing to like exact my specific vision at times because I'll just second guess myself for the reasoning behind it. But I've always regretted. And almost every time I don't say, I think I'd rather the camera's over here. I'm like, fuck, I wish I said the camera was over there.
If you heard by chance this story about Paul Thomas Anderson and Daniel Day-Lewis on There Will Be Blood. They were on Charlie Rose talking about this. Have you seen that by chance?
No.
So Charlie Rose goes, so guys...
I never watch anything from any other filmmaker as a rule. No, I'm joking. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Charlie Rose goes, so you guys had an interesting first week of filming. What happened? And you can sense that neither of them really wants to tell the story because both of what they do is so special. They don't even want to kind of even address how they do the thing they do, understandably. But what happened is they shot for a week. Okay, well, apparently after 1 week of shooting, Paul said to Dan Lewis, I want you to come watch dailies of this week. And Dan Lewis said, I don't watch dailies. And Paul said, yes, I know that you don't watch dailies, but I really would like you to come watch it. So they sit down and they watch the whole first week of dailies. And at the end of that, Paul says, I don't think your character works.
Yeah.
And Daniel Day-Lewis goes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And they completely reshot that. All I took from that is like, I can't imagine ever having the confidence to basically tell the world's greatest actor, hey, I think I might know more about this thing than you do as the greatest actor. Like, I know, because I would be probably tempted to go, fuck, this doesn't feel right to me, but goddamn, Daniel's never been anything but fantastic. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, for sure. I think that, that I've been in similar situations where, like, to me, once I have it in my head that something's off, it's like pretty hard to convince me not to do something about it. And like we've done things in our movies where, I mean, the smallest example is like in Sausage Party, like Nick Kroll's character was like 100% different character. And then in one day, we were just like, we should 100% redo everything you've done over the last year, basically.
Yeah. How do you even bring that up? That's so hard, right?
Yeah. Kroll,
who's the nicest guy ever,
was like, he was like, he was like, if you guys, God bless him, was like, if you guys think it'll be better like this, then I 100% trust that. And I will come in and I'll try 110% to do whatever new thing we come up with.
Yeah.
And he fucking did. And like, it was like, it's one of those calls. I don't know. I almost take more pride in changing my mind, like the more I work, honestly. Like to me, that becomes the thing that as I look back, like displays more bravery
And
than
integrity
than
and-
going
yeah.
along with the program.
Yeah, I agree.
And if I have regrets, it's in the past about creative things that have happened that I look back on. It's mostly like that we ignored some thing that we all
Yeah.
kind of knew was a problem.
Yeah, that hurts a
but
lot,
we
doesn't
just
it?
like either kind of wanted to ignore it, or maybe didn't quite think it was a problem, or just didn't put enough thought into it, which is the worst.
Or it's
And-
a lot of it's just right. You just don't want to hurt someone's feelings.
yeah, that
right?
happens sometimes. Like, I think at times it's just been like under scrutinizing sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, and like we put our shit through more scrutiny than like, and we get other people like we seek a lot of external input. Because,
You do?
Yes, a lot, because like
At what point in the process?
every point in the process.
Okay.
Like
You have mentors that you or people
just
who's
friends,
opinion
ever just
you
anybody,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
whoever I'm standing next to at any given moment. Like I will just, like we'll tell people our ideas, the movies we're working, considering writing. We'll tell people like, do you think this is something we should put more energy
sounding
into?
board to
All the time. And then when the script is done, we'll send it to people, and we'll do readings, we'll do table reads, we'll have round tables, we'll invite people to sit around and talk about it. And then that will continue through every step of the process.
Yeah, so you produce and you guys shot the pilot of Preacher, right? Which is on AMC.
Yeah, and then we've directed a few episodes like throughout the
And
season.
I can sense, and maybe I'm wrong, but just from the outside, I can sense that you care a lot about that project. Is that accurate?
Well, yeah, because it's the first several things for us. Like it's a comic book that we loved growing up, and it was like one of the first like properties we tried to make when we had like any success in Hollywood, and it just kept we just were not the people who were appropriate to make it. It seemed so. Like our first meeting for it was like 10 years ago. Like that's how long it took us to like eventually get it going, and so and we just love the comic and. Me and Evan grew up reading comics, and so this idea that, like, it was interesting as comics became so popular and these Marvel movies and shit became so popular, like...
Are you resentful at all about that?
No, it wasn't resentful because, like, I could not have less desire to direct those movies.
Yeah.
But... there was something about like, hey, like we've liked this shit forever, and now other people who maybe didn't like it as much or for as long are getting to do it.
Right.
But then there's Preacher, which was like our thing that we liked, that we got to make. And then there's another one called The Boys that it's our thing and we got to make. And then we start to realize like, oh, there's tons of comics that are just not Marvel that we like, and now we're just trying to make all of those basically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I could imagine, like, if growing up loving psychedelic furs, and then all of a sudden now the whole world's obsessed with it, me going like, no, this was this thing that defined me as
it's
someone
super weird.
different, and now this is something everyone's into. I just
It's
feel
more
like
something that I didn't realize was such a niche thing. Like we did so much shrooms throughout high school that like I assumed everyone did a ton of fucking shrooms all throughout high school. I had no idea that I thought it was like you drink beer, you smoke weed, you get heavily into psychedelics.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that wasn't like what everybody did. I mean, and way less people seem to have done shrooms.
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot of
always
like
a little disappointed.
a lot of like 40-year-olds are doing shrooms for the first time and creating like entire philosophies around it, which is so fucking. It's as someone who started doing them when they were 14 is just like funny to see in some ways.
Yeah, there's like
know?
a whole movement backed by science that has all these. I've been trying to get Monica to do it now for 3 years. I've been like making a
never
case
done
for
it.
her to
Really?
do. Yeah,
But I've never done any drugs.
Yeah,
Well,
just
besides,
weed.
Besides pot, yeah. I hardly count.
But
that.
I want her to do mushrooms, and I'd like to see her do some Molly before she passes. I think it's an experience that should not be missed.
For sure. I mean,
Right.
if you don't want to do it, don't do it. But if you
or do it.
That's not his philosophy.
Because even if you don't want to do it, my hunch is when the Molly experience starts, you'll want it.
Yes, Molly's a drug that's hard to have like if it's of quality.
Yeah, it's like
product,
Back to the Future. You're gonna like
exactly.
the movie.
It's one of those things that's like it's
bulletproof.
It just is good. It is. It's objectively good.
Have you done ayahuasca?
No, but a lot of my friends have.
Do you have any desire to try it?
I don't know. I've like gone pretty deep into hallucinogens, and it's not.
It doesn't seem fun.
It's the one thing that everyone I know who has who has never done too much drugs came back from, and were like, I don't know if I would do that again. It seems to affect people very differently though, because then I have like one of my very best friends is one of these guys who's done it like 60 times, and goes to these retreats and for like 10 days in a row will do it every day, and like for him it's just like purely therapeutic. And then I have other good friends who like, I've never seen the limits of their intake, and they came back like as though they were in fucking Nom or some shit, like they're not quite the same. And so like that I think, but I don't know. I would probably do. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, but not a strong desire, because I hear people talk about it, and then just my nature as a person is like, I want to know what everyone's talking. Like I want to. It's hard for me to hear about an experience that I haven't had.
Exactly. I'm
the
same way. I'm the same way. Especially like I get drug envy. I think.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I do.
Or even a trip. If someone goes, "Oh, we went to this country. It was amazing."
I don't have that as much as I do with drugs. Okay. But yeah, I get. Yeah, if people seem. But then, like if people seem, but I don't know. Like at the same time, I'm just like, do they really seem like they've seen some fucking?
No. I don't even know
some
that.
Drug trip, yeah.
They just did drugs.
But
in
drugs are just fun sometimes, so it just seems.
Did you find like shrooms? Did that ever take a turn for you? Because my last time doing shrooms was the first time I ever had a bad experience, and it was bad enough that I was like, I don't know that. I mean, I ended up getting sober anyways, but I wonder if I would have gone off of it anyways, just because when it goes south, it can be memorable.
No, I've had it go every which way, but like what I find is that I did them recently and like got 1,000 times more fucked up than I expected to.
Okay. That's
like,
kind of neat to know.
Yeah, and it was
still out there.
Super. It was like I was like I hadn't felt like that since I was in high school. Like honestly, I was just like this is. I was like I've gone to another realm of functionality. Like if like you would take me to an insane asylum if you happened upon me, and that had everything with like that was at moments very terrible and at moments very great and at moments. But like, I don't know, like, to me, I think to me personally, I find it helpful to like confront some things that it's really just to make, it's like looking in every drawer,
Sure.
to like, it's really to me, like that's what I personally have found it helpful for is like, if there is anything you're sitting on that will probably uncover it in some capacity, a huge amount of mushrooms. And so that like, that's something that I've, and it was something that I was like, I feel like I should do shrooms. I haven't done them in a few years. I've like a lot, maybe my brain could use like a kick in the fucking gut. And then, and then I did them and I got 100 million times more fucked up than I thought I was going to. And then I did acid for the first time recently, actually.
How was that? I tried it one time and it didn't work for me. So I feel
For me, it worked. I found it to be like a little like generic.
Okay.
Like, it kind of just felt like a drug. Like
like
it
a
was
chemical-y drug.
Yeah, like it was like somewhere it felt like it wasn't quite as hallucinatory as like
crazy amounts of shrooms.
As crazy amounts of shrooms, which are like out like and it was also contrasted by the fact that like a few weeks earlier I had done shrooms and like literally like the universe melted around me, and so it was a high hallucinatory bar to hit.
Sure.
But it was fun. It lasts a super fucking long time.
Like how long?
Like 12 hours.
12 hours.
Like I took them at 4 p.m. and like forced myself into bed at like 4 a.m. and was like,
did you have to wrestle yourself
probably
to
like
sleep?
Hallucinated almost the most as I was lying in bed, like
At
trying
the
to go
end.
to sleep. Yeah.
That's the part that doesn't appeal to me even when I have my fantasies about doing drugs still.
I was literally in a bunk bed and Evan was in the bunk bed below
Oh
me.
my God, this is wonderful.
Yeah, so cute.
And so it wasn't. I was okay. I felt at peace. And then I woke up the next morning and I felt 100% okay. It was
that's great.
Yeah, that was really.
I'm
nice
assuming you're in his house in his children's bunk bed.
No, we were
did you
in
come across bunk beds.
We rented a house like in the desert.
Okay. This is fantastic.
It was wonderful. It was a
Yeah.
wonderful time.
Well, is there anything, because like Will Ferrell, I have a fantasy about him, and you occupy it for me too. Any dysfunction for you? Like you're so productive.
I'm high all the time. That probably.
But I don't think that's a no.
Probably, I don't know. I mean, that's one. Many would argue that is.
I wouldn't.
I would say
that.
I've corrected, but it's probably a course correction, I guess, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah.
I guess I'd be more curious if like is
Am I like emotionally detached? As a
no?
result
Is
of
there
it or
anything that
something?
you actively work on? Like, you know what, I gotta really, simply because you're so high functioning work wise, and then you've been married to Lauren how long? Or you guys have been together for
13 years. Almost?
13 years. Yeah, like you have a very successful relationship. You have a very successful work life.
Yeah.
To me, on the outside, it seems like you're almost perfect. I'm a little frustrated by it.
I think I could. I think I could communicate with my friends and family more.
Really?
Yeah. And I've gotten better at that.
You have also, I just want to add, because I wanted to bring this up, even though I want to get you out of here. You also have this humongous heart that I was privy to by seeing the speech you made about Alzheimer's. I can't remember where I saw it, but you made a kind of public speech about Alzheimer's, right?
Yeah.
Or you've probably done a
I've
bunch.
done a couple, yeah.
Yeah, and you were very emotional in the one I saw. And I was like, oh, wow, he's also a really sweet human being who's taken on a cause that isn't immediately his. It's his wife's. Is it your wife's mother or father?
My wife's mother, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this guy's a beautiful person on top of all this other stuff.
That's nice.
And it made me hate you just
a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more. But you're in touch with that, and you have the confidence to be vulnerable and all that, and I really applaud that, probably more than anything else that you do. Like, that's a really cool thing that you decided to take on. And you what's the thing you started to help raise money for? Something for comedy? What is it?
Hilarity for Charity.
Hilarity
we
for Charity.
Created, that was our charity. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We made it. Me and my wife. I mean, it was mostly born out of just like sheer depression and like wanting to feel some agency over something that we felt very powerless over. You know?
Yeah, it's the most powerless, right?
Exactly. And so, but
it's just my grandmother had it.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like it's a sinking ship. It's just taking on more and more and more water.
Yeah.
There's really nothing you can do but watch.
Yeah, it's a huge bummer. So honestly, doing that stuff was the fact that I get credit for it in any way, the fact that people think I'm like a good person for it in any way is like, to me, disproportionate to the amount of energy and unhappiness it causes me, because like it's mostly really fun to do. I don't put I spend a lot of time doing it and I put a lot of effort into it, but it doesn't feel inordinate. I also spend a lot of time doing things I enjoy, other things that,
is that a thing? Do you allocate your time? Do you have any symptoms of like being a workaholic? Like, do you think
I'm
like,
also very good at shutting off? Like, I was just on vacation for a week, and like I was like, I'm not one of those people who like can't put their phone down and like needs to keep like going. Like,
and you never feel like Lauren's like, really, dude, you got to go today, or you have to direct that episode, or you don't ever get that sense.
I mean, sometimes, but not. I think it's more just like we like spending time together, and so it's a bummer when we can't spend as much time together as we would like. But she herself, she does the exact same thing I do, and she completely understands how important it is to be able to express yourself in these ways. And again, if I ever felt like it was derailing things, we've both gone through amazing lengths to spend a lot of time together.
Right.
The last year was for sure the most time
she
we've
directed
ever.
like Father.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's just talk about that movie.
Which stars your wife.
You're in it.
I have a small role in it. And
your wife Lauren directed it.
She wrote it and directed it, and and she's been working on it the last like year.
And it was on location in Florida and on a
Florida,
cruise ship
New
in
York.
New York.
Yeah. And
I ended up being with the kids for 3 weeks unexpectedly because of the hurricane.
I know, it's so crazy. Yeah, and I was in Florida for a lot of that time, and
Giving my wife edibles and taking
exactly
her to
giving her
Disneyland.
vape pens.
I called that movie her spring break. That
It
she
kind
never
of
had.
was. You could say there was a sense of like, I can't believe I'm getting away with this shit.
100%, which I was so in favor of. She's
Yeah.
like with young cast members
No,
going
she
to
cut
Disney
loose.
World,
Yeah, it was-
doing edibles in the morning. I'm like, go get it, girl.
It was great. Yeah, my wife kept everyone well intoxicated.
When she is writing that and directing it, I guess, is she using you? That's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Is it like she needs you as a collaborator?
Yeah, I mean, we both are very reliant
Lean on
on
each
one
other.
another for
Yeah.
input. Like
Yeah.
I harass her to read everything, and she's
Mm-hmm.
made huge impacts on some of the movies we've made over the years. Like the only reason they're good
Life-saving.
is because of things she's said about them or input she's given us,
Yeah.
you know. And that goes for a lot of, like, Evan's wife. I could say easily, you know, the exact same thing about and other people who work in the company. Like, but yeah, I show her everything I write and every script of a movie that I might be in. I ask her to read, and every joke before I go on a thing, I ask her to
we have
look
the
at. And
same thing.
cool.
Going.
yeah, it's great. And like, we used to, I think a little more early on, it was like a little bit more of an awkward dynamic, and we used to like try to separate church and state a little bit. And we were like, should we work together? Should we not? Maybe we shouldn't work together. Maybe we should do that. Maybe it'll seem, maybe it's better to not do that. And then a few years ago, we were just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
who's
I
this
was like,
for?
if you weren't my wife, I would want to work with you.
Yeah.
So
Right.
all I'm doing is like giving other people the opportunity to work with you. And also maybe the project isn't going to be as good because we would work well together.
Yeah.
All in favor of some like weird hypothetical
But
thing.
if I'm Lauren, because I've had this as me, where I've done a bunch of, like, I'll do a cameo in Kristen's Veronica Mars movie,
Yeah.
or I'll go do a cameo on her TV show. And what's really funny is, because she's more famous than me and more successful, when she does something in my project, I feel like people are going, oh, she had to do that, right? Because they're married. Yeah, and then when I do a cameo in her shit, I feel like people are thinking, oh, she got him a job. It's just because
no matter
that's
what,
just-
it sucks.
Yeah, that's my low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Probably no one's thinking any of those things at all, but they do cross my mind. So I'm just wondering if I'm Lauren, I might have that, because I certainly have it with Kristen, where I'm like, I would just feel like I'm a little nervous what people are going to think.
All people are thinking is like, I love Kristen and Dax.
Exactly.
That's the only thing.
100%. And like, it was something that I think, we were like overly sensitive towards.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, like, will it seem like one of us is facilitating the other's success in some capacity? But then, like, what I was also thinking is also like, I'm always having my success facilitating other people's success purely based on the fact that I like them and I think they're talented. And like, it was almost like, again, like we were excluding one another from each other's work for completely made up reasons.
And largely, probably ultimately because of, or at least for me, is like, what strangers are going to think. Like, you keep coming, like, Chris and I will constantly, like, both of us step in it publicly once every 6 months. We send a tweet or something happens where we stir up some bees. And then we have this like mantra we have for each other that whoever's not stepped in the beehive, we go like, hey, just remember, does anyone in your family think this about you?
Yeah.
No. Does any one of your friends think this about you?
Yeah.
No. So everyone in your real life doesn't think anything.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of actively remind yourself of that.
No,
Like,
very much so. Yeah, it's super, exactly. And that was like, I mean, I came here just now from a pitch that we did with Evan's wife, who is also a writer, Lisa, and she's a great writer.
Yeah.
And it was another thing where she was out there like selling projects that were fantastic that we were like, man, it'd be great if
Not
we could make
producing,
those, but she's your wife, so we can. And then one day we were
So
just
backwards.
like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, if anyone should be doing it, it's us. Like,
it's actually the opposite of what should be happening.
100% was, and so we've since recalibrated.
And we all want to
that.
make it on our own. Like,
Yeah.
we have this sense that we want to make it on our own. But what's really funny about it is that I didn't make it on my own. I
No.
piggybacked on Ashton Kutcher being famous.
Yes.
So, like, it just means a stranger who's famous is going to help me.
100%. Yeah,
It's preposterous.
It was super a weird It was a very weird moment where I think we all looked at
The
each other.
bedrock's probably good. Like it's probably like an aversion to nepotism.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
in a meritocracy is probably a good aversion
yeah,
to have.
100%.
But it is ironic that you're just going to get that from someone else.
Yeah, and like, who's to say anyone's opportunity is based on merit necessarily?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think you have to be good in order to actually succeed ultimately.
Well,
but
ultimately,
that
the truth will come out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
you can
so,
get lucky a few times.
Exactly, and so I think that is looking back, it was an odd choice, but I think it's nice to be in Lauren's movie because it's also, I understand that it's probably meaningful that I'm not the star of the movie, because that I think would, again, as silly as all this stuff is, it's probably a relief to not have that associated with it as much, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because again,
You've walked halfway to the real goal, which is who gives a flying fuck.
Exactly. Well, I think now I would, but I
Yeah.
do think now I would now I would be more than happy to be
Sure.
the star. They would, again, I'd like her more than most people, so why the fuck not?
Yeah. When does that movie come out? We should both know it. Our
August 3rd, August 6th?
August 3rd or 6th on Netflix.
Exactly. Let's do both.
And
August
that's-
3rd. August 6th.
Watch it twice on August 3rd and August 6th. But yeah, your wife directed, my wife starring. And thank you so much for making time. I know you're crazy busy. And of course, another thing about you is you do everyone's thing.
I try to do people's thing.
Yeah, it's really fun. Is it you just try to be of service to other people because people have been
of service to us,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
I again, it's one of those things. Looking back at the things I've asked of people and the things I've gotten people to do, and the amazing generosity, like it's honestly one of the things I'm like most proud of in a lot of ways. Looking back, is like who is willing to keep working with us, and who is willing to trust us.
It is the real test of everything.
And I'm so thankful for that. Any of these people that I consider are so skilled and talented and amazing, that like the fact that they in any way would entrust anything with me in any way, shape, or form is just something that I know how thankful I am for it. So I try whenever I can do something for people that I respect and that I like what they're doing, and it seems like again the kind of thing that again I just try to be available because
it's really admirable. You're right. Don't have kids.
Exactly.
You'll never be on
I'll
another.
never be in another podcast again.
No,
if I had kids, I would not fucking be here right now. There's no doubt about that.
Well, thank you for coming. You're so fun. I really, really do look up to you. I'm going to tell you.
nice.
I'm going to tell you one second story. After Idiocracy, Judd asked me to come meet with him for 40-Year-Old Virgin for the role you did.
Oh, that's funny.
And I had just done Without a Paddle, where I was third banana in Without a Paddle. And then I did Idiocracy, where I was third banana in that. And then I was very arrogant, and I was like, I think I'm ready to go
Done third banana.
I want to go to number 2 banana.
Second banana.
And I have a lot of respect for Judd, so I don't want to waste Judd's time. That was by the way, I'm 5 minutes in the business of getting off. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
There's no rule.
So I really thought I was being generous to his time by saying I don't want to meet him because I really want to be the second banana in the next thing I do. And so I never did meet him. And then you, of course, did that role, and you were fantastic. None of this would have happened to me. But there was a moment when Knocked Up came out where I was like, oh no, you shit. The size of the shit in the bed you took. And despite, I guess the point I'm trying to make is you were so well positioned for me to hate you because I had fucked up and I should have met on that movie, and you would have probably gotten it anyways. I'm not even suggesting that. But then you also did this movie. It was all set up on a platter for me to dislike you, and then I just fucking loved you, and I thought you were so great in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and then I loved you in Knocked Up, and I was just watching this career that I thought, part of my brain thought, oh wow, that could have been me. Look how fun it looks. And now he's getting to make the movies he's written. I could be making the movies I've written.
And despite that, I still was able to cheer for you. That's how likable
Very
you
nice.
are.
I would have hated me. I would have only rooted for my complete and utter failure.
Destruction.
I auditioned for Idiocracy and did not get cast in it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
For Frito? For my role?
No, Justin Long, I think.
Right.
I auditioned for. And what's funny also, actually, about Without a Paddle is that there's a scene in it where you guys are like, it's about a weed field getting burned down.
Uh-huh.
I had written Pineapple Express at that point and was convinced that Without a Paddle
Stole.
I did not think they stole it, but I thought it ruined the movie. I thought it made it that no one would make Pineapple Express. Not because of any, like, when I read the script, I remember because Jason Segel was auditioning for it. First I was highly jealous because, like, why aren't I that was like my whole life for years. Scripts on Jason Segel's fucking dining room table that he was auditioning for that I wasn't, and I was just like, what is happening? And then then I remember reading it, and I remember actually think he was like, because I told him about he'd read Pineapple Express, he's like, this movie has a scene where they like burned down a weed field, and I was like, fuck.
Oh yeah. And I think I was
Motherfuckers.
27 or 8 at the time, and that's all I thought about. Like, oh fuck. Well, I'll give you a great example. Is we had a bear scene in our movie, like Seth gets taken by a bear, and I want to say Anchorman came out before.
Anchorman has a bear scene. Yeah.
And in a bear scene, and I remember Steve Brill calling me like, "We're all in a huge panic. There's
That's so
2 movies
funny.
with a bear scene, and it's like it's the end of the world." And our movie will never work because now
no one gives a shit.
No, and when I watch it, I don't even like. Did you see Deadpool 2?
No.
Okay, it's very funny.
I hear it's great.
I assume you saw MacGruber.
Yes.
My favorite part of MacGruber ever, what a breakthrough comedy
Love that
idea,
movie, yes.
was when he takes 20 minutes to assemble the A-Team.
Oh, yeah. And
then he blows them up in a van, right?
And that happens in Deadpool, too.
The exact same thing. And I loved it in both things.
It's a good joke.
And I never thought, I was happy they did it again because I liked it so much the first time. And at no point did I think they stole from anyone. But if I were in that situation, I'd be panicking.
You'd be like, we can't make Deadpool 2 now.
Yes, we got to shelve this movie.
We're shutting it
I don't
down.
care if it's $800 million we're flushing down the toilet.
100%. Yeah, it's so funny how that stuff
means so much to you.
At the time, yeah. It's like, I remember putting so much in every one of those movies that I would audition for. I remember like being like thinking like not getting cast in like Final Destination was like the worst thing that ever happened to me. And like not being in Idle Hands was like the worst moment of my life. It's so funny looking back where you're just like, oh, like I'm so glad I'm not in those. Yes. How weird would it be if I was in Final Destination? That would be so strange. Yeah. It would just.
My audition like that was the first Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah.
They wouldn't release the real script.
That's
so they gave you gibberish, like a scene that was all sci-fi mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
Like it could not be memorized. There's just no way you could memorize because it was all fake words that sounded galactic. And this is the only time it's ever happened to me in an audition. I get halfway through, I'm not pronouncing anything correctly. I'm objectively terrible. And just in the middle of it, I go, look, guys, I don't think any of us deserve
this
any
isn't
more
gonna
of
happen.
this. Yeah, I was like, I'm just going to save all of us the next 3 pages of this. Thank you. And I left. And it's the only time I did. But I remember driving home going, well, that's a wrap on you.
Yeah.
Like,
you're done now.
You just bailed out of an audition midway through.
And then it's one of those things where it's like, no one gives a fuck. Those people didn't even remember that shit happened by 2 hours later. They were just like, business as usual.
Especially when you get on the other side of it and you recognize what that process is. It's so informative of like, it's too stressful.
It's exhausting.
Emotionally draining. Well, unlike this, which was a goddamn pleasure.
It was lovely.
Seth, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And I hope that, like Father's amazing. I hope that the Preacher wins every award. And
it won't.
Okay. And then the pilot you just directed, I hope that is the next Stranger Things.
It'll be great.
And then have some kids so we can hang out because we can only hang out with
we can only hang out with kidded people.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
You're
cool.
off the table.
I'm in.
All right, see you.
And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. She's an armchair fact check. She's an armchair fact check. I can't hit that note. My voice is hanging on by a thread.
Why is your voice hanging on by a thread?
Well, Monica, thanks for asking. I'm shooting my game show, Spin the Wheel, and today I filmed 3 back-to-back episodes.
A lot.
And I'm really revving everyone up. I'm trying to be high energy. I'm yelling probably more than I should. I'm not protecting my instrument, and now I'm paying the price.
Are you breathing from your diaphragm?
God, no. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Kristen told me to breathe from my diaphragm. I'm like, you fucking breathe from your lungs.
No.
It's a trick.
No, you breathe from your diaphragm. You need to take 1 acting class.
But explain that. You breathe from your lungs. Your lungs
Take a
are
breath
in your
in,
chest.
put your hand on your stomach, take a breath in, and make your stomach expand when you do it.
Okay.
No, I can see your whole upper.
Look at my fucking belly's popping out like Craig T. Nelson's in Poltergeist.
Look when I do it.
Okay. It looks so cute when you do it. Please always breathe from your diaphragm
I
going
do.
forward.
That's why my voice is protected.
Oh, you're always protecting your voice.
Yeah, always.
Because you never know when you'll be called on to host 3 episodes of an hour-long game show in one afternoon.
You never know.
You just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You probably also would be more responsible about the yelling. I get caught up in the moment. There's, like,
No,
people
I
are-
would be yelling during a game show for sure.
Yeah, people are like landing on $1 million, and I
Ugh.
go berserk, and I start running around. I'm afraid I'm going to rip my suit. My suits are so tight. Ooh.
That's
Mm-hmm.
nice. Is it? Yeah, I think I would feel so. I would feel everything they were feeling.
Yeah, it's
it
almost
would be hard.
It's impossible not to because the stakes are so high. But I got to tell you, my boss, who I love, I don't know that I've liked a boss more ever, Andrew Glassman. He's in my ear. I have a little earwig in so he can tell me shit, you know? Mm-hmm. And he said, right before we started, he goes, my God, you look like Daniel Craig in that suit.
Oh, boy.
I can't imagine being told something nicer than you look like Daniel Craig in a suit. I mean, I think he was just pumping me up so I'd feel confident, you know? I think it was a mental trick, but I took it in that moment, and it
Good.
made me feel great.
Good.
And then I strutted on that stage, Monica.
Oh, no. I guess in this scenario, it's a good thing.
I peacocked up and down that circular
I
stage.
guess it's a good thing. Yeah.
What kind of facts did we stumble onto
A couple.
with Seth Rogen?
Well, he was talking about how his wife went to a very quintessential American high school.
Oh, right.
And you said oh, she was the Lila Garrity. So that's from Friday Night Lights for people who do not.
Our favorite show.
Yeah, which was a little confusing because he was talking about Varsity Blues.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you said she was like the Lila Garrity. So I don't want people to think Lila Garrity is from Varsity Blues. She's from Friday Night Lights.
She's from Blues Clues.
No, don't spread fake news.
I won't.
She could have been, but I haven't looked it up if Minka Kelly was ever on Blues Clues.
I think we would have heard about it.
Probably.
Especially with how much we've talked about Blues Clues.
Probably. She, it's a good show.
It was a great show, and she was so cute in that show, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the chemistry between her and Riggins was on fuego.
You mean, are you thinking of the other girl?
No, the blonde?
The blonde girl.
The blonde girl isn't Lila Garrity.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, so you are thinking of-
Riggins was dating Lila Garrity on the show.
And
He put it in...
no, they dated, they had the real romance.
We're only going to solve this one way, and that we're going to rewatch that whole series together.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm glad this happened, actually.
I know that you didn't finish, and I did.
I'll tell you why. Before you I know what you're insinuating, and I'll tell you. I haven't finished Friday Night Lights in the same way that I have not read the last Bukowski book. I have a Bukowski book. This is true. Sitting in my bookshelf that I'm not going to read because I can't live life knowing I've read every Bukowski book and there's none left. And I can't live knowing I've completed Friday Night Lights. That's sincere. That's why I haven't watched
Really?
it. Yes, that's why I haven't watched it.
But you don't know. So much happens.
And I have the luxury of finding out still.
Are you gonna? It's been quite
Of
a long
course.
time.
Right when I get diagnosed with something terminal, I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to open up my Bukowski
Don't
book.
say that.
And I'm going to have a great last couple weeks.
You might not. It's a pretty sad last season.
Okay. Well, it won't be sadder than my terminal disease.
That's true. Anyway. Oh, he said in kind of passing, but he said,
Vancouver's not the biggest city in the world. He was talking about how people run into each other, and he was just saying that as like a phrase.
Oh, okay.
Vancouver's not the biggest city in the world. But the largest city in the world by population is, do you want to guess?
Yeah, Mexico City.
Nope, but I think that is probably pretty high
Probably
up. But
number
no.
2.
Well, it's not number 2, but.
Well, it had 25 million when I was in college. 10
Really?
years. Yeah. They had the population.
Well, they lost a bunch of people then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because.
Oh, no. They passed?
I don't know.
All right, let's just hope they moved out.
The highest number, the number of the largest city is less than 24 million.
I said 25, but all right, what does that say?
Oh, well, it's 24 million. Shanghai.
Shanghai.
Largest city in the world by population, 24 mil.
Well, I can't do it now, but on a future fact check, I'm going to find out what year Mexico City had a population of 25 million. And I'm sad they're losing folks.
I mean,
You know? What does it say? What do you have there for Mexico City's population?
yeah, I knew
There's no
this
way.
was crazy. There's no way.
They lost 60% of their inhabitants. What happens?
For
Do you
our
think they
listeners, Rob
rezoned?
just said that Mexico City has 9 million people, and in 2010 had 8.8 or something. So,
Oh my God! How could I have
Think-
been that off?
yeah, I
Jesus.
knew this was wrong from the
Population
beginning. As
of
soon as you said it.
Mexico. I still don't believe it. Oh my God! There's been so many fatalities from this narco war. They killed
No.
16 million
You rather believe
inhabitants.
that than just accept that you're wrong.
Well.
You're
not only am
so
I
wrong.
I'm super wrong.
Yeah.
I couldn't be wronger. Jeez Louise! And I don't know. My fucking phone won't work. Okay.
It's trying to protect you
Apparently,
from yourself.
it probably is.
Okay, so we were talking about bar mitzvahs, and you asked, why is the age 13? The term bar mitzvah refers to a young man who has reached the age of 13 plus 1 day. Most references to the age of 13 come from stories the rabbis told about characters in the Bible at 13. So there's all these boys turned men in the Bible at age 13. So that's one of the reasons.
Yeah. Okay. And they go. All these guys turned into a man.
Right.
A men at 13. Maybe our boys should be men at 13.
Mm-hmm.
Still seems awfully young to be considered a man.
Yeah. Some explain that the fact that the age of maturity is 12 or 13 is simply an oral tradition that God imparted to Moses on Mount Sinai.
Now, I've met a lot of 12-year-olds, and it doesn't seem like the transformation's complete at 12.
That's for girls, and girls are more mature than boys.
But still, when you wander the halls of a junior high, which I do recreationally all the time, just to check in with the youth, you're not seeing anyone there at the junior high that is a man or a woman.
I just want to tell everyone that's not true, just in case they think you're like
Wandering the hall.
walking into some
I
locker
could give a
rooms
lot of
and
motivational
stuff.
speeches at, I could find business there other than just being a creep. Like I could talk to dyslexics or something. Don't you think I should do that?
If you're wandering around the halls,
Just looking
It's
for dyslexia.
creepy.
Well, what if I'm just wandering around?
you're just
looking
asking
for
people,
the-
"Are you dyslexic?
How you doing
Are
on your
you?"
reading? Bad?
Give them a little test. Yeah. It's the youngest age at which someone is referred to as a, quote, man in the Torah.
Is 13
Yep.
in a day.
Correct. Well, 13.
Oh, okay.
The first day of 13 is not 13. You have to have had a full day of 13 to really be 13. Everyone knows that.
Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you for telling me, though.
That's any age. Like when I turned 31 in a couple weeks, I won't really be 31 until the day after.
Okay, not to backtrack. Here's my fucking number, thank God. I did Mexico City metropolitan area population, and it's 21.3 million. It says, according to the most recent definition agreed upon by the federal and state governments, the population of Greater Mexico City is 21.3 million, which makes it the largest metropolitan area of the Western Hemisphere and the 10th largest agglomeration and the largest Spanish-speaking city in the world. At least I got close to my 25 million. I mean, I would have seemed absolutely insane if it were 8 million and I said 25.
How many people in Mexico City? 8.851 million in 2010.
Yeah, but if you do Mexico City metropolitan area population, it's 21.3 million.
Look, that's not how we're supposed to be doing it, I don't think. Because if you just go ahead and if you type
I
in...
only was trying to answer where I got that number, Monica. Do you see that?
I know, but
because I did
now-
learn that number. I did learn that number at college.
But
and
you understand that when you say that and then it's Tokyo and all this, and I can't keep it in if it's wrong.
It's still right. The
Well, it's
biggest
not
city
if
is
it's
still Shanghai. And you just said city. You didn't say metropolitan area.
I know, that's why I know.
This was a side conversation about how on earth I had that number 25 million in my head. And I luckily found the answer, which is it's the metropolitan area of Mexico City. That's 21.3 million. I feel a lot better. I felt crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy seeming.
I was off by a factor of 300%. That I can't have that margin of error and still call myself an armchair expert.
That's true. I'm glad we clarified that.
Yeah.
You mentioned again the article about drugs that...
I found it.
I know. So what is it?
Yeah, it's about time I say what this article is. Woo! Okay, so the title of the article that I often reference is Can Nicotine Be Good for You? And it was in the New York Times, and it was written by Anna Fels, F-E-L-S. And yeah.
Great.
I'm quoting, if a patient tells me he falls asleep on cocaine, I wonder if he might have attention deficit disorder. A patient who smokes marijuana to calm down before important business meetings leads me in the direction of social phobia or other anxiety disorders. Yeah, so it goes in and it also tells you the pros and cons of nicotine, which of course I'm always tremendously interested in as a deep, deep nicotine addict.
What year was it written?
That is it's an outstanding question, and it's not readily available. Oh, March 5th, 2016.
Great.
Yeah, so it wasn't written in the 80s.
Yeah.
We don't have to discount
Still
it right out of the
relevant.
gates.
Yeah.
For another couple months.
Oh, the Paul Thomas Anderson, Daniel Day-Lewis movie. You were talking about that story, but you didn't say what movie.
There Will Be Blood.
Didn't know if it was that, or they've done another movie, Phantom Thread.
That's right.
So I didn't know which
Most
one.
recently, Phantom Thread.
So it was There Will Be Blood that you were talking about.
It was, yeah.
Okay, great. Ayahuasca?
Teach me about that. Am I allowed to take it and still call myself sober?
No, I don't
No.
believe so.
What if it's for medicinal reasons?
Sure, I guess. I mean, that's up to you.
That's
But
up to you and your sponsor to decide.
that's right. But it does make you like puke and have diarrhea and expel everything and have a huge purge.
Yeah, did I bring up the episode of Chelsea Handler on her Netflix show where she goes around and does weird shit? She went and did ayahuasca on camera. And they were all being very thoroughly warned that some diarrhea might be in their future, and there was toilets close by. And it's very communal. So that part was kind of put me off.
And did you see it?
She did not experience diarrhea,
Oh.
luckily for her, being on camera and all.
Yeah. Oof.
But also, I got to applaud her
brave.
lack of vanity to put herself in a situation
Yes.
where she made diarrhea on camera.
Did she puke?
I can't remember if she puked, but you know how I feel about puking. It's like no whoop. It's like coughing to me.
Sure.
So I wouldn't have minded if she puked, nor even filed that into like a crazy moment. I would have just thought, oh yeah, she sneezed.
Right. Anyway, so it's pretty hard on your system, I believe, this whole experience. But people have huge breakthroughs, and it is supposed to be a spiritual medicine.
Does it dissolve the sense of self? I think that's the goal in a lot of these hallucinogenics, is to take the area of your brain offline that deals with ego and identity and self and help you feel connected to the rest of the world.
Yeah, it's an entheogen, which is a class of psychotic substances that induce any type of spiritual experience aimed at development. So it does have a It does have a positive purpose.
Well, one of those developments may be diarrhea. That should be mentioned
Lots of it.
before you go out and buy some
Yeah.
off somebody at your local 7-Eleven parking lot.
Ugh. I mean, do you think maybe they're just delirious from all the fluid they've lost? Like, sometimes when I have the flu, I feel like I'm having a spiritual experience.
Really?
Like I'm not in a normal mind.
Sad.
Yeah, in a state of mind.
And does that help you feel, though, connected with the rest of the world? I think that's where the spiritual component, where the rubber meets the road, is when you start feeling that we're all interconnected and we're all a part of this big stew of molecules, and there is really no division or delineation between Monica Padman and Dax Shepard. It's a romantic notion.
But it could be placebo. It's like you're doing these drugs knowing that this is coming or wanting that to come, and then you're also delirious from your dehydration.
Well,
and
hold on, we don't know that you're dehydrated.
Yeah, if you're vomiting and diarrheaing, if you have the flu because of this, then you are dehydrated. They probably don't let you have any water. And
it's hard to make diarrhea a verb because you just said it and I say it too, diarrheaing. It doesn't sound like you want to be able to make it a verb, but I don't know if it makes itself a verb all that easily. But I can tell you, as someone who's been on mass amounts of hallucinogens, it is not placebo. I'm telling you.
You don't know.
Well, I do know that after hundreds of trips, that probably the placebo effect would have worn off. Yeah.
I don't know.
I know you don't know. You're hating on shrooms. It's fine.
I'm not hating it. Although you brought it up in the thing that you want me to do it. And
boomers.
Why would I do it if literally both of you said that, or you definitely said that the last time you did it was just a terrible experience. I think Sam said the same thing when he was on. Mm-hmm. Why would I do that? That could be my first experience on it. And
I'll tell you exactly why. Because when I order 100 pizzas, one of those pizzas sucks. I get food poisoning from 1 in 100 pizzas. I would still advise you to eat pizza. It's amazing. And I've had over 100 great experiences. The reason I had the one bad was that my partner in crime, Josh, lost his shit and took us together down a dark
well, if it's
spiral.
If you're that
but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be with you while you take your boomers. And I'm going to keep things very positive. I'm going to be your shaman.
If this is a drug that makes you so susceptible that someone next to you is behaving a certain way, that makes you then have an equally terrible time.
I
no.
can tell you that sober, being next to him in a cabin, I would have had a terrible time because he was trying to pull his hair out of his head. So it was a gruesome thing to witness, high or otherwise.
Why would I ever do something that makes someone want to pull their hair out of their head?
It's my belief that Josh already felt like he wanted to pull his hair out of his head, and then the drugs just facilitated that.
Well,
I don't think you want to pull the hair out of your head.
I don't know if I do, and I don't.
Well, you know what? The offer's off the table. I rescind the offer.
Okay.
I will not be your shaman as you wander through a kaleidoscope landscape on boomers.
Cool. I'll find somebody else.
All right. Now you might do it to spite me.
Maybe I will.
Diarrheaing.
Like Father came out on August 3rd, not August 6th. And it's out currently, and people can watch it.
It's done incredibly well.
I'm sure it has.
We just found out it's done incredibly well. I think.
Go watch it.
Stream that shit.
Netflix. That's all.
That's it?
Yep.
We're going to go out on the celebratory note that Like Father has performed admirably on Netflix.
Yes.
Was there anything that Seth was promoting that we're supposed to remind people of?
Like Father.
Like Father and The Preacher is a show he directs and produces.
I don't know when. I don't know the timeline of that, but
we just don't know.
But everyone should watch that too, and watch everything Seth does because it's all very good.
It's always impressive.
Knocked Up is one of my favorites.
You just love that one. Were you able to easily see yourself as Katie Heigl in that movie? Is that why you were able to connect with the female protagonist in a way that allowed you to experience it a little more?
No, I've never gotten accidentally pregnant.
Okay.
So
Yet.
Yet.
All right. Well, I love you, Monica.
I love you.
Night night.